Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and this is Friday Night Tights. Welcome, everybody. We have a couple of guests here. We have the usual Comix Division in parts unknown. What's up, my friend?
Not much, man. It's Friday, which means it's the weekend, which is nice.
Which means we're chilling. And a very special guest. We have half of the Popcast here. We have Shane. What is up, Shane?
Yes, the top half of the podcast here. Good to see you guys.
Shane is always on top. Okay.
That's right. Always on top.
That's official. That's official. Brian's going to try to make it. He's at a thing, doing a thing with a thing. So, yeah. There's much to talk about this week. Of course, we will talk about Game of Thrones and the Oathbreakers, Dan and Dave. I got into it like in super detail with Mahler yesterday. Please, I'm going to leave I left that stream up because it was just great. It was great having him on. But we're also going to talk about other stuff tonight because there's some other subjects that have been kind of pushed aside the last week that I really want to talk about, which is the Terminator trailer, Rotten Tomatoes, basically crap in the bed, and the Picard trailer, which I just please by the way, please like and share that video as much as possible, because it's one of those ones where I put a ton of work in, and I know I'm not going to get many views on it, but I don't care. It was a labor of love. It was a labor of love.
I'll tell you right now, the people are looking for it, so yeah, you're probably going to get a lot more views in the next couple of days than you think.
Ah, well, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It was good, by the way.
So. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
I was watching it on bated breath. I'm like, it started out. I'm like, wait a second. This isn't how they normally start. Right. And I'm like following it through. And about 3/4 of the way through, I realized, oh my gosh, he's doing Picard. He's doing the teaser. So awesome job.
Thank you. I thought it was better than a copyright strike, to be honest with you.
100%.
And God, that trailer was so basically shot. I mean, I have mixed feelings about it because, I mean, it's great to see Patrick Stewart. But I know everything behind it. And, just look at the people's body of work, just IMDb, Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman, and it will destroy all your hope, unfortunately.
The Dark World stuff alone disturbs me. So I'm with you.
Yeah. And this is his modus operandi. He goes out to try to find franchises like he's buying a car, and he's like that guy who just got into like a Ferrari. He doesn't know dick about him, but he's got a trust fund so he can buy the best one, but he doesn't know anything about it. And he wants to be in the Ferrari clubs, and they're just like, oh dude, really, bro, go.
And then he wrecks it.
Yeah. And then dad pays for it.
Yep.
So
we all pay for it.
Yeah, we all pay for it, especially here in California. That's for sure.
That is the truth.
Yeah, and you're in you're in SoCal. You're in Orange, right?
Well, Brian's in Orange. I'm in Ventura, but we make it work somehow.
Oh yeah, that's like way far away from each other. Yeah, my son lives in Orange, but he's here right now eating all my food.
Smart.
Yes. Hiroshi scorer for 50 Mexican dollars. No question today, just supporting a free folk from another free folk. Right on.
Ooh.
Are you in the free folk? Yeah, I want to know if anybody's in the free folk Reddit who's regularly in here, because like I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And you've been the best thing about Game of Thrones, aside from coming in and talking to everybody. It has been the best Game of Thrones therapy. And we will definitely go over some we'll go to some free folk red memes in a little bit. All out of bubblegum, $5. Hello, Gary. After this week, I am more than ready for some funny. Right? Yes. Well, we have the last watch on Sunday, and Doomcock and I will be on afterwards. That's just gonna be a documentary, but it's still gonna be worth talking about. We'll find out what other dumb things Dan and Dave say. Like, we'll find out who else forgot about things. Razzled lady for $1. Thank you for the $1 donation. Tech guy for $2. Serious. Is there a collusion to destroy the franchises? There is.
One would think.
Yeah. Sorry, Comix Division.
Sorry.
I think so. I think there is I don't think it's to destroy them. I think it's to use them for something. And I think it's not even. I don't suspect it. I mean, I know it. It's more than belief. I know it. It's because it's happened. The same thing happens with everything now. And
shit, dude, did you see that article? It was I would say kind of like an interview with Kathleen Kennedy, where they basically said, yeah, we wanted to destroy the Star Wars franchise in so many words. Of course, they didn't say it like that, but it's basically their goal.
Yeah, they want their cake and eat it too. They don't want to be beholden to the canon and to the past, and they want to mold it into what they want it to be so they can use it as more than just entertainment to shape minds, social engineer. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, that's a company getting way too goddamn big.
Oh
yeah. That they wield a lot of power.
Did you guys see Disney now owns 14 of the top 17 money-making movies of all time. And it's scary, frankly. Something needs to be done about it.
It does. What happened to our laws? Why aren't we using these? We have these monopoly laws, or well, I think they're just words on a piece of paper somewhere at the state now. At this point, Tech Guy for $2. What do you think of Jason Momoa's real reaction? The one that is there a different one? I saw it and I thought it was great. I think Jason Momoa is not a guy you can control. Like, he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. Like, he's straight up a dude. And I don't know what your guys' feeling is. I think he is speaking for all of the actors on that show who still get residuals and worry about their legacy, because there was one time where even being in that show for one season, you're like, I'm kind of set for life. And now you're not. You're simply not. And I don't think anybody can argue that, like, nobody's going to rewatch the series. There might be some, but the rewatchability, if I were to guess a percentage, would drop by half.
I have no desire to watch it now.
No,
just based off that one episode I watched, I was like, this just sucks, man.
No, and it used to be so good. Now, Shane, did you watch Game of Thrones? Were you into it at all?
So my Game of Thrones story is interesting because I did not watch Game of Thrones, but I happen to know everything about it because I'm a great lover of George R.R. Martin, and I've read all the books. And I just couldn't get into the series as it was going through, other stuff going on or whatnot. But I followed season 8 pretty closely just because I wanted to see what was going to happen without George there, without following a story. And obviously, they screwed it all up. So, I think they needed George to lay the foundation, because these guys, I don't know if they were setting up for prequels or what the heck they were doing, but season 8 was a complete disaster. I know you've talked about it, to no end, but it was ugly.
Completely ugly. And yeah, I feel like yesterday with Mahler, I feel like I kind of said my piece. I'll probably come up with, I don't know. I could definitely come up with more on Sunday after I watch the documentary. The two videos that are going to come out this weekend are character based, are just again for me, because I'm pissed, really pissed. They took two of my favorite characters and just flushed them down the toilet. Completely flushed him down the toilet. So I'm gonna basically spoil some of the books for you, and I'll give everybody fair warning. And I know a lot of people just don't read the books, and I'm gonna tell people where this character is in the story right now, in the real story, the source material, and how much better it was, just to show you what you missed. And I know other people have done videos like that, but I'm gonna do it from my perspective. And remember to pet your doggo. Always pet your doggo. $1.99, Bob Blunt. Yes, I hope to see you at Contact in the Desert. Well, you should. I will be by myself, so you can. If you're there, we can hang. It's fine. I'm also going to try to do a meetup in Palm Springs, like at a coffee shop or something like that. But yeah, that's next weekend. I'll be live streaming on Nerdrotic Live every night. But I wanted to bring up, you guys, I don't know if you're into the UFO thing, but Secure Team 10 is a UFO, one of the biggest, if not the biggest UFO channel on YouTube. He got completely demonetized, his whole channel.
Whoa!
Out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh!
That happened to Sargon pretty recently too.
Yep. And it had something to do with thumbnails and metadata not matching what the titles are. Which, I mean, I watch every single one of his videos, and they're completely accurate. So yeah, their YouTube is preparing.
Right.
For next year.
Yeah.
So the end of the conspiracy videos, right? Is that what they're trying to do? Just basically kill them?
Yep. That stuff will be completely cleaned out by the beginning of election season. And yes. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, it's too bad, because it's some of the most interesting stuff to watch. it also sparks a lot of creative, conversation, intellect. It's some of the best stuff on YouTube, even though some of it's crazy, but
yeah, YouTube was built on it.
right.
That and cat videos.
Yeah, one of my favorite channels, All Time Conspiracies, man. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Mouthy Buddha does some pretty cool stuff with UFOs recently. He was kind of focusing on the skeptic stuff for a while, and he kind of got into the UFO stuff. I like his videos on that, but I haven't really followed a whole lot of like UFO channels.
There's one I've got, man, he emailed me and I've got to email, man, if you're out there listening right now, Crow 777, I will email you tonight. He emailed me like a month ago and I just spaced it. He's a good one. And yeah, there's Ancient Architects and there's a lot of good, it's not even woo. Some of it's like legit and some of it's not, but it's fun. And it's like, we're adults. We can decide. And it's just a matter of time. Then where does it stop? Okay. So they go to conspiracies and then they go, well, you're mean to people. You're criticizing films, and these films are owned by companies who advertise with us. And we can't have you criticizing anybody who advertises with us. So, I mean, I understand the thin line YouTube has got to walk on this one. But listen, ultimately, we're the talent. Okay. Shane, Comix, me, you people in the chat, this is a very different situation. I think you should worry a lot less about the advertisers, because as long as there's people, I bet you even advertisers were going, hey, don't get rid of that channel. That guy gets millions of views all the time. I love putting my stuff in front of his videos.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, my latest video, which was kind of poking fun at AOC and Liz Warren's take on Game of Thrones, got demonetized sometime, I want to say maybe mid-afternoon, because when I uploaded it, it was monetized. In the morning after it went live, it was monetized. And I don't know if it's because I added in one of the tags for AOC and garbage disposal, got it demonetized. But yeah, there's some weird stuff going on YouTube. You can't criticize or poke fun at political officials,
and not around this time of year. No way. That's going to be guaranteed. Mahler, my stream from yesterday with Mahler, it doesn't matter. They demonetized it, so I just took the monetization off. I just flipped it off.
That's typically what I do whenever I get demonetized. I just take it off. There's no point.
Well, because the advertiser, basically, it's the revenue is limited to you. We're still going to advertise on it, and we're just going to keep most of the money.
That's what I figured that they were doing.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. All right, so let's get to the chat real quick. But I can't wait for Contact in the Desert.
That's weird. It's back to being monetized.
Oh, that's good. Good for you. Well, we got to believe me. We got plenty of super chats yesterday. It's fine. They can keep the advertising money. God, Mahler's awesome. Guy's one of the best YouTubers ever. I watched his Predator video again today while I was cleaning my room. Okay, yeah. So Bob Blunt. I will be there all 4 days. I'm staying at an Airbnb because it's cheaper than a hotel. Plus, you can plug in the internet, and again, it's cheaper than a hotel. But yeah, I'm going to be there all 4 days. Can't wait. Dean Heiss for $5 was going to start Game of Thrones before the season. When you started talking about how bad it was, now I think I will Now I don't think I will have a pizza on me, Dean. I will. Thank you very much.
That's right. You need to read the books, Dean, and then you need to wait for George to put out his next one at the end of next year.
Yep.
Or in the middle of next year. Wait for it.
And we're getting it. I mean, like I know I'm surprised. I know the usual suspect newspapers ran with it and more people didn't run with it, but maybe there's a lot of channels who are new to Game of Thrones. Now, George would not put it in his blog to not even to troll, because it would be such a headache to him right now. But I think he felt comfortable putting it in because Dan and Dave are getting such heat. And I think he deliberately put it in to stave off some of the masses. And it's not really helping. People are like, I don't read. I don't care.
Well, and it's hard to believe him sometimes, even though I do think what you said about it was right, that I think it's probably going to happen in that time frame. But he's missed his deadline so many times on what he said was going to happen, and people have been like, yeah, George, we'll see what happens.
Yep, that's
But
true.
Fingers crossed.
The only thing that verified it was the multiple emails and the insider who emailed me and said, yeah, I was at a meeting. I was sitting right next to him when he said it. So yeah, so I was like, all right, cool. But we'll see. Because I mean, this is George. He could like, I need to rewrite that prologue, and it takes him 2 years, or epilogue. Oh, Jen Eric, no. Okay, man. Jen Eric for Canadian $2 says my doggo died. 14 years, 6 litters of puppies. Wow, that was a productive doggo. Sorry about your doggo.
Yes, very sorry.
Yeah, man. He's getting lots of pets and playing ball somewhere in doggy heaven. Barbara Kroll, $20. These creatives keep saying they want to create something new and not be stuck with tired storylines. Well, then create something new. Stop killing developed storylines. Then scream, fans suck because you killed classics. And I'll add a little bit to that brilliant statement, Barbara. They killed classics because they just wanted to be done. Rian Johnson just wanted to, basically pull a Breaking Bad with Star Wars and thought it would work. They need to just bring, for some reason, there's this aversion to hire legit science fiction authors and screenwriters. And you guys all know science fiction genre is not something you can just jump into and like write anything decent.
No,
it was a mess. What Rian Johnson did to episode 8 was crazy. I mean, we've talked about it till we're blue in the face. I pray to God that JJ comes back and is able to put this thing back together so we can at least stomach 9. So
no, it's gonna be a goddamn mess, man. I mean, have you heard about the stuff they're talking about? How they literally kind of built a story around the footage they had with Carrie Fisher.
I saw that. Yeah, JJ said he spent some time considering it and looking at stuff, and then all of a sudden he's making it seem like it's like almost an inspiration that came to him from a muse or something. So I don't know. It better be some badass filming that they did that it fits in, but I don't know. I'm confused by it. So
I think it's going to be a big freaking mess.
It's going to be a huge mess. Did you know muse is considered a sexist term now?
What?
Because you're taking the work from a woman.
Oh dang. My God!
I heard that from somebody. I did.
My muse is Stephen King, so he's a guy. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Seriously, what the fuck, man?
I'm gonna. Oh boy. Yeah, maybe we could talk about it later. There's a very disturbing article that was brought to my attention. That is like. It's like the end game. It's like what's going to happen. Entertainment might just burn itself out with its own rules and its own self-editing. It's getting so bad. Sparkus Aurelius for $5. Subverting expectations will historically become synonymous with death knell. Exactly. What is wrong with these people? Hail to the Phantom Menace. Hail to the Phantom Menace, Sparkus Aurelius. Yes.
I think the whole subverting expectations thing is more a code for we don't want to deal with canon. We don't want to deal with what came before us. So we're just simply not going to respect it, and we're going to go and destroy it. I think that's basically what they're doing.
And that's pretty much what Hollywood used to do anyway, but they used to at least give you lip service, and now it's no. Sam Sterling, 3D for $5. Hey man, wrote an alternate ending to the series and emailed it to you. Oh, great. Hope you get some enjoyment out of it. Same ending, different events lead up to it. That'll be interesting. I bet you it's better. We heard some endings in the chat yesterday that were better, and Mahler came up with one that was better. Loquacious Primate for $5. What's up, man? Hail, Gary. RMB gave you and Doomcock another shout out today. Hey, great. That's awesome. About the Picard series, and gave a personal anecdote confirming the alternate BR license. So, this is I want to talk about this right now. Shane, what is your opinion on the alternate license?
So my opinion on the alternate license is I completely understand why it's out there and why it probably could be a very likely thing. But at the same time, I don't honestly know. I mean, I haven't seen anything definitive on it. And so I'm one of those kind of people that I'm a little skeptical until I listen to Midnight Edge and I watch and I'm like, oh, I love me some interesting ties. You've seen from our Popcast Paradox videos, we like to tie them together and come up with interesting things. And there's a lot of credibility to the 25%, but I haven't seen any proof that would put me over the edge. So I think I'm still kind of right in the middle.
All right. I get you there. I saw your Borg origin theory thing, which was better than anything they came up with in the fracking show.
Thank you.
So here's the deal. I think the Picard, in my opinion, the Picard series trailer is 100% confirmation, because again, I think this question needs to be asked, and it's asking the right question. We're going to go ahead with this Picard series and we're going to center it. We're going to, instead of going that you have infinite places you can go with him, but the one place we decide to go is a comic book that Kurtzman and Orsi both plotted for a prequel for a 2009 J.J. Abrams movie. Why is that the one place in the world you went?
Okay, so my personal opinion is, and this is where it is, like 25% aside, whatever. Here's my personal opinion. Alex Kurtzman, he's a mess. He's been chasing J.J. Abrams around. I think he thinks his vision is J.J.'s vision, and regardless of whether they've got they have to respect the 25%, I think he wants it to be that way. And I think CBS has given him free will to just do whatever the heck he wants to do. And that's his vision of Star Trek that sucks, and we don't want it. And I think he's going forward. So whether it's 25% or, I mean, what do you think about the fact that he's going to want to take it in the direction that he was going with JJ anyways?
Well, I mean, besides the question that why would CBS do this, other than they might feel it's a tried and true method, but it's not. It's like proven that it's been, I mean, any market research would tell you, well, just look at what the last Star Trek movie did.
Right.
And, I don't care what Parrot Analytics says. Parrot Analytics is counting my view and my hashtag as a positive view. So it's not a very good barometer unless they don't care about that. I can buy the argument that Alex Kurtzman is just a complete hack and he just doesn't have any talent. So he has to keep using what's out there to be the template. That's an argument I can buy, but them purposely going back to Countdown and going into it's in and around the events of Countdown, this comic book that happens prior to the destruction of Romulus, and it's a setup. Comic book's actually pretty good if you read it, and it's got Data and Worf. It's got Captain Data and General Worf and the Vulcan ambassador Picard and Spock, and they're all trying to work to get Vulcan to share their red matter technology with Romulus. Well, there was a lot of posturing, a lot of politicking, and Romulus, too late. Well, so of course Nero took that as personal and went nuts for it, and that's what led to it. Unfortunately, they didn't give much of that background inside the actual movie. If you read the comic and you saw him like interacting with his wife and stuff, you would understand why he was such a nutbag. But in the movie,
that's
you're
the
just
thing
like,
that sucks about shit like that is like, why didn't you include that in the movie? You know, why do you have to have a freaking prequel comic to explain some of these motivations?
well, because they did the movie and somebody went, hey, that's pretty thin. We should probably do a comic to back that up. So I'm sure the comic came out after, like it was plotted afterwards. So
yeah, they did the same thing with Saru, the Kelpians. They came from a comic as well.
Yep. Oh yeah.
From Discovery. So it's like, he seems to, I mean, I think Alex Kurtzman is just kind of full of himself. It just seems like he's building everything around what he's already constructed or that he's been a part of. And it's destroying the fabric of Star Trek as we love it. So I don't know. Something needs to change. I'm trying to be optimistic about Picard because frankly, it's Patrick Stewart. I've loved him since Excalibur. I've loved him in Dune. I love the man in everything he's done. And so
he played a great Nazi or a neo-Nazi.
Right.
In Green Room.
You're right. You're right. And so, I just have to believe. I mean, TNG is just the greatest. So I just have to believe until it comes out and they shit the bed. I just have to feel like I just got to go in there going, hopefully Patrick Stewart, even though the writing is I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, I guess.
It depends on who is leading that room. I mean, I'm not in there. I'm not privy, but I could totally see them like sidelining Akiva, just knowing the general sentiment that is out there about him, which is not good. So I can see people going, we got
Michael Chabon is an executive producer. So, hopefully him being an executive producer, and then, hopefully he'll just kind of step in and be like, no. This needs to be done better.
Yeah. But I mean, like his Spider-Man True script sucked. It was terrible. They kept like a paragraph.
I do have to say is I think somebody obviously read the source material, because the whole thing with the vineyard, you would have to know a lot about Picard's backstory, because I think it was like maybe in one episode of TNG.
It was at the end though. I mean, it's in All Good Things. I mean, it's
it's because it's been forever. But the thing is, they at least had to have paid a little bit of attention. But yeah, if it wasn't All Good Things, maybe I could see, oh yeah, we watched the last episode, and yeah, we'll just include that. But it seems like somebody may have paid attention to what was going on with Picard's backstory and his history and whatnot. So I'm not holding out hope. I thought the teaser was pretty decently done. I don't know if I'm really all that interested in watching it though, because I just had this feeling it's gonna be a complete fucking train wreck.
Well, when I hear cerebral, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be slow.
Well, there's a huge fear. I mean, that's what the fear is. Please, you've already kind of screwed up CBS. Discovery's already been screwed up, the return of Star Trek. So now don't destroy, probably most people's favorite captain at the same time. I just got to hope that Patrick Stewart wouldn't come on board. I mean, he spent a lot of time in the writing room. I just hope that he has to have a care for his legacy as well. So, hopefully he's making a good decision here.
I hope so, because I remember he had some input into how Picard was acting in Nemesis, and like the whole thing with the dune buggy was so out of his freaking character. He's not the the joy writing. I mean, he's a little bit. You could say he's a little bit of an adventurer to a point, but like the whole thing with him, driving the dune buggy. Yeah,
God, I blocked that out of my mind.
That was not his character.
Blocked out of my mind.
Yeah,
I had not thought about that since I watched it. I think I had a block there.
Sorry, not sorry.
It's all right. Michael Bea for $4.99. They need to get Christopher Nolan to fix this bullshit. Imagine a trilogy and more of Game of Thrones, and have Nolan and GRM working together to make a masterpiece. I don't know if Nolan would be right. Nolan is all about identity. I don't know if that'd be up. Nolan's great. I got no problem with Nolan. He'd be a good director for it. Maybe.
I think he could definitely make it visually appealing. I don't know if he's a Trek fan. I think that if they're going to do anything, is to get someone who loves Trek, like legitimately loves Trek.
He was talking about Game of Thrones. He was talking about
sorry,
Game of Thrones, yeah.
My bad.
With Trek, no, you need to get Trek people. No more outsiders. You need Trek people. Period.
There's enough of them out there. There shouldn't be an issue.
Oh fuck yeah!
Hollywood is filled with them, and you know what? I want Chris Nolan to get in that writer's room for Westworld and fix it, because I love season 1 and I hated season 2. So,
amen to that. You aren't alone. 100%.
Season 2 was just god awful. Cornelius Barunis for $2. What did you think of the new Terminator trailer? Trying to block it out of my mind. It was a joke. The Herminator is a joke. It's got to be a gag. It was great seeing Sarah Connor. That was cool. That was awesome. And then just the CG and I love Tim Miller, and it looked okay. How many people thought he was on the same bridge from Deadpool in that trilogy?
A lot of people.
I mean, like all those bridges looks like, but I mean, like I'm like, God, why is he on a bridge? Why? I half expect Deadpool to be like drawing a picture on the bridge there. So
that would have made it entertaining.
That was pretty funny.
The Terminator is an Arnold Schwarzenegger franchise. I've been saying, God, I say that after every bad sequel I see. And yes, Arnie's been in some of them that were really bad, but it was an Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie that they redid the second. They basically did what Evil Dead did. They just basically remade the first one with more money, switched characters around, and it was a massive hit, but there's no dialogue in it. It's just running and like really good stunts, and some pretty new technology. I was at the perfect age when I think I was 21 when I saw it. It was great. I love it. I love that movie. And it's just never, I don't know. I've never felt like it could ever be a franchise like Star Wars. It can't even get close. The best Terminator was the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That was the best thing. And they got rid of that. So
I was a huge fan of the Dark Horse comics that were out in the 90s. Those were really good. And yeah, I was always a fan of the original. I mean, as much as I like T2, the whole thing with the liquid metal Terminator I could never buy into. And it's something that they continued with each movie. And to me, it seems like it gets more and more hokey. Even with this one where it's like, okay, yeah, your CG is kind of cool, but overall I want my metal skeleton, wrapped with flesh and blood. You can bring in different models like they did with the Terminator comic series. But you got to make them the bad guys. And there's so much more you could do with that franchise without basically totally shitting all over the legacy. And with this new one, it seems to me like they're trying to go with another illegal immigration narrative, possibly. Like this has been happening a lot with a lot of Hollywood movies. So there's probably maybe some anti-Trump stuff in it. And yeah, it's like, so what happened to John Connor? Okay, so now they're passing the torch to the Messiah of humanity, the guy or girl who's going to save humanity, onto this other chick. And it's like, okay, so what happened to John Connor?
So is Messiah of humanity a mantle now?
Yeah, it sure seems that way. And I remember they had this one comic back in the 90s that Dark Horse did. And it was kind of groan worthy at the end, especially, viewing through the lens of 2019, where instead of John Connor being born, it was Joan Connor. It's just like, okay, whatever. But I guess that's the whole thing with like time travel and all this weird kind of crap, is you can really kind of play with that stuff. And that was like my joke about Terminator. Terminator is all about fucking up the timeline. So I can kind of see why, Judgment Day keeps getting pushed back and whatnot, and maybe things get changed. But at the same time, I kind of like what they set up with the original. The humans won. It was very costly, and there's all these different things that they could have played with that franchise. Seeing the war in the future, and as much as people like totally shit on Terminator Salvation, I still enjoy that movie because I finally got to see humans fighting robots in the future.
So what did you think of Genesis?
I thought it was complete shit.
Okay, what was give me just your quick hot take on why it was shit?
Well, I mean, okay, first off, I thought the actors were terrible.
Okay.
The idea of what they did to John Connor was pretty bad as well. There was going back to Dark Horse Comics, they did this one thing which was actually pretty interesting, where I wouldn't say they turned John Connor into a Terminator. He was killed. His consciousness was downloaded into another body, but it was still John Connor. Where this is like, it's a total bastardization of what that character is. He's supposed to be the savior of humanity, and now they turned him into the enemy. It's like, why? Just right. So you could try and reboot the franchise with Genesis by, having the Terminator go further back in time and saving a young Sarah Connor and trying to flip things on their head. It's like the problem with most prequels. Everything should be about going forward, not about going back.
Yeah, it was just bad execution too.
It was totally bad execution.
Poorly executed.
Well, what's amazing is they actually gave away they gave away in the trailer that John Connor was the Terminator. And I'm like, what? Did that just happen?
Yeah.
I was totally blown away by it, and it ruined the whole movie from the beginning.
Big
Yeah, they
time.
need to stop
There was a
doing
lot of
that.
movies. There was a lot of movie trailers during that time period that were doing the
They're
exact
still
same.
doing it.
Yeah,
they're still doing it. They need to stop. I mean, that's the one good thing about Endgame was they left a lot of stuff out of the trailer. Or at
Thank
least
God.
I didn't look.
True.
So yeah, Terminator. I mean, this is the movie Cornelius that people are going to look back on and laugh at, going, "Man, do you remember 2019? Poof, man." Because I'm sorry, I've lived long enough to know that the 2000 teens or whatever are feeling a lot like the late 70s, which was just everything was cheesy and bad. And I know some people adore the 70s,
kind of
but
intentional, but I don't know.
no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No, I was there. They were trying really hard. They thought those bell bottoms were cool. Yeah.
Well, that's totally different though.
Tech guy, $2. Totally want more Exozone. I have a cryptid story. We're giving it to you. You're gonna get 4 nights in a row of it on Nerdrotic Live next weekend. James C, £2. Should /will D&D make a public statement apology? Never. Never. Should they? Someday, yes. I wouldn't even recommend they do it now. No, if I was their agent, I would be all turn off your phones, unplug, go to an island. You can afford it. Stay there for 6 months.
Well,
maybe
basically
7.
what they said is that, when the finale premiered, they basically turned off their phones, got away from Twitter, and got drunk.
It looks like they were drinking well before. Well before
drinking
that.
something.
Now, Tech Guy, before I read your super chat, I tried last night 3 times to make a McQueen t-shirt and fucking Teespring wouldn't let me. So I used my own font and everything, and it wouldn't let me. It kept on nope, shooting it down. I'll try it again tonight, but I had a McQueen. I don't want it on the back, ready to go. And
we need to get you over to Mixed Tees so you can make whatever you want.
There you go. That's probably what I need to do. Teespring.
Was it basically like no because of copyright?
Well, first time I tried with the Game of Thrones font, so I figured I wouldn't get away with that one. But then I found an Adobe font that's just pretty damn close, but it's not the same. And they still won't let me do it. Then I went just regular, just to test it. I just did the Arial font, and it wouldn't let me do it. So I'm wondering if Game of Thrones. I'm wondering if Warner Brothers copyrighted McQueen, which it doesn't matter. I still should be able to use it as a parody, but
fair use. Yeah.
100%.
So I think Teespring is, I just need to try somebody else. Fan on Rough, what's up? $4.99, 10 p.m. here. Wanted to say hello. I love Doomcock's rant of Game of Thrones. Been with you guys since before the tick. I know you have. You've been around forever. It's good to see you. My God, you were around when I had like 100 subscribers, fan own. So what's up? And the tick is gone. The tick is gone.
I just finished off season 2 tonight.
HFG $4.99. Used to watch Shane and his bros Survivor recaps online, but I lost track of the YouTube channel. I truly come full circle finding you through Gary. This is AF.
Everything's through Gary, guys. Just come here. You'll find it eventually.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah.
Good to see you. Come back.
You want to hear the Big Brother Survivor connection to this channel, which because I never watched those shows. I never watched it. I think I accidentally watched a minute of Big Brother, like the Voyeur Vision from Showtime a few years ago. I'm like, what is this? People watch this, but they do tons. It's got a huge built-in audience. So my co-host John at the time, who helped me build this channel, build the website, and was the one who was like, yeah, we should kind of cover TV. He wanted to cover a bunch of the reality stuff. I'm like, you can do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not touching that shit. But he, Shane, have you heard Rob has a podcast?
No, I haven't heard that.
He's a Survivor. I guess he was on Survivor. And so when John told me what that guy makes a month, I'm going to blurt it out to everybody now. This was a year ago. This was 2 years ago. That guy makes $30K a month.
What?
$30K a month. But now that's on the podcast, not here on YouTube.
Oh, guys.
But so he's probably making a lot more now. Talking about Survivor and Big Brother. And it's like, what?
God.
And people complain about this country. I'm like, no, just no. Peter Davison, Australian $5. Terminator is confusing. It certainly is. You know, Hollywood used to always say like, well, we don't want to put a Batman on television, a Batman in the movies, because you confuse the audience, but you'll make 6 different timelines for 6 different Terminator movies when it's the most basic plot there is. Machine comes from future to kill past person, run.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Run. That's a good way of explaining it.
Back and to relate this to Game of Thrones, because Mahler did a supercut of all the scenes where there's no dialogue in the last Game of Thrones episode, and he said it was 57 minutes long. 57 minutes of no dialogue. I wonder what a Terminator movie is. It's got to be more than half the movie where nobody's saying anything.
Well, in the early days, they didn't want Arnold saying much anyway. So
no, they didn't. They certainly did not.
Especially when he did that Hercules movie with the bad dub. That was
I saw that recently. Oh my gosh,
that's not me. This is me.
But Conan works every.
Conan.
I mean,
oh fuck yeah, that was great.
I love that movie more now than I did back then. So I did. Okay, I just opened the box right before the podcast, and I'll do an unboxing for my PO box on Monday. By the way, update: Game of Thrones Death Pool will be announced Sunday with Doomcock. And honestly, we all did a horrible job. We all did a terrible job. A bunch of us thought pretty much everybody was going to die, and nope, he lived. And yeah, it's pretty bad. We all sucked pretty bad at it. But where was I going with that?
Well, you should have been right though. The problem is they should have killed more people.
Oh yeah, totally. I'll remember where I was going with that for a second. But I was going to make a programming note and then I forgot it. Okay. No, somebody sent me a bunch of Frazetta art books, like a whole stack of them. I was like, but I didn't see who it was. I'll announce it Monday. They're freaking badass. I opened the box and I got lost in them for like a half an hour. Warren Roar, what's up? $1.99. Is Game of Thrones are the Game of Thrones books worth reading now that the show is ruined? Yes. That's a tough one for me. I agree with you. Yes. The answer is yes. The thing is, you have to know you're not going to get the last book. You're just flat out not getting it. And you keep that in mind and you forge ahead anyway. Well, you're not going to get it from George. I think somebody will end it, or you can end it with your own fanfic, or we're getting Winds of Winter. We're 100% getting Winds of Winter. Dream of Spring. I don't know, but Winds of Winter might be enough because it's pretty clear what's going to happen now. It's pretty clear that the battle with the others is going to take place in Winds of Winter. And then you have a book called A Dream of Spring, and everybody the battle's over and everybody's like, oh, everything's great. And then all of a sudden we get this another big bad, which they will tell the story of over probably a book and a half, and it'll make tons of sense and be brilliant. I still totally back George as a writer on that book, on A Song of Ice and Fire. It's amazing stuff. If you like world building and completely losing yourself in a story and that's very intricate and you got to think about it a lot. And, when Danny was talking about how they don't get to choose regarding what is considered good or not, pretty sure D&D's egos manifested in those lines. Yes. Candace Marie, thank you for the $5. I think their egos manifested in season 5 and up. Great writer. I mean, George R. Martin probably has a hell of an ego, but it's not going to get in the way of his story though, ever. I don't believe that for a second. I'm sure his confidence in his writing is top, like he probably thinks he's the best writer in the world, as he should. But I still think he wouldn't let himself get in the way of his story, other than being lazy and not doing it. But that probably makes no sense. Baptist 702, $5. If only Thanos showed up and reset everything in the beloved franchises, Star Wars, Star Trek, MCU, Game of Thrones, with a snap of the Infinity Gauntlet. We have that power. We do. Mm-hmm. This is something I need to address to our Star Trek friends and our Star Wars friends and our Marvel Comics friends out there, where the fan bases are fractured, split. Game of Thrones needs to serve as an example The fandom pretty much is united in not liking. Yes, there's outliers out there who like it. It's
but those allies, they're the majority. Haven't you heard?
Well, I read that article yesterday where it said, yeah, it's not even the people who don't like this. It's if I'm agreeing with Elizabeth Warren on something, it's pretty bad. Except for Daenerys. I don't agree with her opinion on that. I think
you agree with her opinion that the ending was meh?
The ending was meh, but Daenerys going bad is fine. I think that is totally
Don't you think
fine.
they rushed it though? Do you think they
absolutely?
Rushed it? Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, it made sense considering who her dad is, but I do feel it just seems like it was just really rushed.
No, absolutely, yeah. Well, they broke the own rules of their own world. Like I said in my video, they spent 2.5 seasons leading up to the Red Wedding to the point where everybody in the world knew it was going to happen. And then they still waited 3 or 4 more episodes to do it just to build up the tension and make people go, oh, yes. and then when you saw it, it was horrific. It was goddamn horrific. And it worked in every single way. It did. It was a horrific scene that like strengthened the narrative, got people talking. And that's what propelled the show into the stratosphere was the Red Wedding. I remember before that, people were still like, I don't know. I remember begging people to get in that show. Like, it's fantasy. I'm not into fantasy. I'm like, oh, it's different. Okay.
Stay with it till the Red Wedding. Yeah, that's true.
So, but my message to the Star Trek fans, who are out there and many of you might be here in the chat and just go, God, I'm hoping for the best. I hope for the best. There's a point where you just got to say enough. You either got to walk away, don't buy it, because hoping for the best isn't going to change anything, and you just got to stop buying it. Now, HBO like changed its tune so quick from multiple prequels to we might get one. I guarantee you they took it in the freaking balls on people unsubscribing. They did normally anyway. That's something that happens normally anyway, and we hope for a net gain. Not this time. And it was a united fandom. It was everybody united in this sucked. And the normies understand now what it's like to really be a nerd. We feel about that's not just one show. We feel that way. I guarantee you, Shane feels that way about like 9 or 10 things during the course of a week, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
no, it's true. From Doctor Who to Star Trek Discovery. I think that the optimism, if Picard comes out tragically, I think optimism is just going to die completely. So I think that's going to be the end of the road for a lot of Trek fans.
I think if any Kurtzman property is going to have the possibility of being good, it would have been this one if Akiva wasn't there. I mean, it was like a punch in the gut when I heard he was going to be there. Because when I first heard it, I'm like, okay. I mean, Kurtzman's probably not going to be writing it because he's working on Star Trek Discovery. So he's just going to be the EP. And they're going to bring in some people, and it could be good. I mean, I'll get some lens flares in my face, but other than that, it could be good.
Maybe I heard his name down the lens flares this time.
It's supposed to be tonally different, like completely different. They want all the shows to be distinctly different. I don't know about that. We'll see.
So it might actually be good because the last one tonally was bad.
Well, here's the big problem they have. They have no money. They have no money. Nobody, that Amazon deal they got, they didn't, Amazon, of course, purchased it like a normal show. Like Star Trek is something you need to bid on that like goes to the highest bidder. They had people not wanting this.
Yeah. Remember, I can't blame them.
They launched a network with Star Trek. I mean, it didn't last very long, but they launched a fracking network with Star Trek. Star Trek is niche and will always be niche, and it can make a lot of money. It's just, it has a ceiling. It's got a plateau, which is fine. I've always thought that made it better.
That's the thing about it. I mean, you run it for 7 years and then put it on hold for like a decade or so and, do something else with it. Sorry, I cut you off, man.
No, I actually cut you off. But, the thing about Picard is that because of the way they're filming it and the way it's going to be this cerebral, character-driven show, they're going to probably save a ton of money on production. The way they're going to do that,
that would explain it.
That would make more sense.
Yeah,
and I hope so. The thing is, Star Trek Discovery's got to be worried right now because every penny CBS has, and they have to put more into Picard than they intended to because Netflix didn't pick it up, is going to go to Picard. So they're not going to. Yeah, I think CBS would flip the bill for that one, without a doubt. I think Picard is at least until something actually airs, it's going to bring in more subscribers than they've ever had. And it's going to have their best ratings and it's get the best buzz. And believe me, if I don't like it, I fully expect to get like twice as much shit for that, but I'm prepared to do it. I don't care. But I think Star Trek Discovery, especially what I've been hearing from a couple of my insiders, is it's not the sure thing. I'm not saying it's canceled yet. I'm not, but it's going to have some problems because Netflix still has the rights and they're going to keep the rights. But they're not happy. Apparently they're not. Now, what they're not happy about is what I'm not sure about. I've not been told what specifically. They're not happy about something. It could be the lawsuit. It could be a million other things. I don't know.
I'll tell you what I think it is. I think the fandom menace chased them in 950 years into the future. That's what I think happened.
Probably.
I think
agree.
they're not happy about that. I think Alex Kurtzman's pissed that he had to stick his tail between his legs and run into the future. That's not where they wanted to be.
No, but that was they were told to do that. They said basically unfuck this. That was the quote. So
somebody should have said that from the very beginning.
Well, yeah. As soon as Les Moonves took Alex Kurtzman and said go, that was a failure from that point on. As soon as Brannon was gone, it was it. That was it.
Well, I remember hearing the early rumblings of the controversy where they initially, when the captain was supposed to be, a white male, and then they had to undo that for some reason. Well, because of obvious reasons, because of current year politics, apparently. And it from the very get-go, when I was reading articles about it, it's like it sounded like it was going to be a huge SJW mess.
And they never stayed focused. That was the thing, is they leaned in with their politics, calling the Klingons a orange man allegory, and then they leaned back out. Then they there's a meme for Game of Thrones that ties into Game of Thrones. You don't have three villains in three successive episodes, which is basically what you had. It was over 4. You had the Night King, Cersei Lannister, and Daenerys Targaryen were your 3 main villains at the last 4 episodes of your series. Star Trek Discovery did the same goddamn thing in the first season. You remember, Shane? They had I'm forgetting that they had the main the guy was the priest for Kalish. What was his name again? The one who he died. So your main priest dies. The one who has the big ship with all the tombs on the outside, all the sarcophagi on the outside. So he dies right away, and then another guy comes in. And then he dies, and then another guy comes in, and then he dies. Well, Vok doesn't really die. Vok doesn't die. He changes. So you had the main priest. Believe me, I usually know his name, and I'm just blocking it out. And then they had another general come in. So it was like over 5 episodes. They had 3 main villains, and then they're all dead. And you're like,
what the fuck?
Who's the bad guy now?
And then they went to the mirror universe.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and then they had that bad guy, but of course, she's a woman, so she's cool now. Even though she brought her back. Then they brought her back, and now she's like the lovable rogue in Section 31.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, well, it kind of reminds me like a problem they had like with I think it really kind of manifested in the Batman movies, where your movie starts suffering from over villainization, because it's like, with one, the first movie you get one villain. Okay, then for some reason the second one you get 2. And then by the third movie, you have like 3 or 4. It's like it's like so many freaking villains that you really can't stay focused.
It just hit my brain. Takuvma.
That's right.
Takuvma, Vok, and then that general guy with the paint in his face. And you're right. The thing is, what happened with this, according to Robert Meyer Burnett too, is they had Brian Fuller's notes, and they just pined off of that the whole season, and they didn't even try to like write. Yeah, and
it kind of seemed like that. Now that you say it, it's like that makes sense.
Yeah, it's such a mess. And You know, if you're just like like I have no ill will towards any random CBS board member. I seriously don't. They have a lot of shit to do. So they're probably like, hey, I'm paying this guy a lot of money. I'm going to trust him. And then they're like, why is everybody why is there this guy with action figures like bitching about my show that I just paid you millions of dollars for? Could you explain that to me? Why is there a guy with a mask and a voice modulator and his name is fucking something cock? And he's like, bitching about the show, and like when he does it, it's more eloquent than any script you give me. Can you explain that to me right now? And he can't.
Then they did this. Well, we got Harry Mudd next episode. How about that?
Remember Old Trek?
Remember Harry Mudd? Remember Old Trek?
Old Trek's great.
Remember nostalgia?
Oh my God, Preston Jacobs has the best callback like little thing. So anytime he's talking about Game of Thrones and they put in a season run reference, which they fucking did so much this season. He has some like normie guy with like an Izod on going, that's a season 1 reference. It's like, it's so fucking funny. You got to see it. It's hilarious. I want to do that every time they like remember Old Trek and have a little Spock. Yeah, god damn, it was terrible. Okay, where was I? Baptist 702. Yeah, I did that one. But thank you for the $5. And Candace, thank you. It's good to see you. Jen Eric, Canadian $10. Muses don't visit you if you don't know how to ensnare them, how to force them into a project, then you aren't going anywhere. Anyone wants, I'll sell the process for my novel series, but it's not PG. Well, Jen Eric, we don't want PG. This isn't PG. No. We're definitely a hard PG-13 here. I mean, I'll drop an F-bomb by accident once in a while, but I try not to. Friday night, it's a little later, so it's okay. Yeah. So Kyle Jones for $5. Would you have any interest in a spinoff surrounding Aegon's conquest? Yeah, not done by Dan and Dave. Period. But seeing Aegon's conquest would be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It would, I dare say, kind of better than Game of Thrones because you already have the dragons. Now, the sorcery isn't there that we know of, but really exploring the Targaryen marriage dynamic where he's married to his 2 sisters. He really loved one and liked having sex with the other, but couldn't stand her. And she was Visenya. It was just badass. But I want to see him melt Harrenhal. I mean, I want to see that. That would be brilliant. So there's a big castle from this pirate from the Iron Islands. So they're like they're basically a race of pirates, Viking Reaver pirates, and they encroached into Westeros and they took over much of the area under Harren the Black. He was this just ultimate badass. So he's like, I'm going to build a castle bigger than the freaking king of any king. I'm going to build the biggest castle because, he has biggest dickus. So he builds this giant castle, and he's kind of like one of the major holdouts as Aegon comes to Westeros, and he's got 3 dragons and kind of a small army, and he's going over Westeros, and he's just making everybody bend the knee. A couple people say no, they end up on fire. Then everybody else goes, not being on fire, bending the knees, not so bad. I get to dust it off. I'm fine. But Harren the Black said, no, screw you. My castle walls are high. And then Aegon's all, well, my dragon can fly over these walls. He's all, they're made of stone. Can a dragon destroy stone? And then Aegon goes, tonight, your line shall end. Just like an ultimate. Ooh, I love that line. And Aegon disappears. Harren offers basically all the Lord's daughters to anybody who kills the dragon. He's all his rival Lord. He's all, I'll give you their daughters, not his own daughters, if you shoot down that dragon. So Aegon does kind of what Daenerys did. He just flies straight the hell up and you can't see him. And then he dives through the clouds. And then he spends the entire night just pelting the castle with dragon fire. And it takes, unlike in the last episode of Game of Thrones, it takes all night. And he melts it, and it doesn't even melt it all the way, but he fries everybody inside. He ended the Harren line forever, got the Ironborn out of there, and yeah. So the castle to this day, they even show it in the show. It's all melted. It's like a melted candle. It's one of my favorite stories. That's why I love the book. See that little story right there? There's hundreds of them.
There's tons of those. Yeah,
it's so good.
And that's the funny thing. Rock actually melts. It doesn't just explode.
Okay, so apparently it does if there's water and air trapped in it, but it doesn't explode in a direction. Now that's something I would never know. But
but what they were doing in that episode was
it
was garbage.
They could have explained it. They could have said there was wildfire stores in there. Oh my God,
that would have been a cool explanation.
Somebody in the chat yesterday came up with the best explanation that
Battle Mage shooting fireballs. That would have made a lot more sense.
it would have been more entertaining to watch. I bet. So Danny hears the bells and spurgs out a little bit and goes for Daenerys, and Drogon kind of feels her, her anguish and her anger, and kind of spurgs out a little bit himself. So he just shoots out some fire, but not much, just a little bit, and it hits. There's wildfire all over the city by the old Mad King that they haven't removed, and wildfire is basically dragon fire. It's basically jarred dragon fire, and if you light it up, it can burn on water. You can't put it out. It's horrible stuff, and it's all over King's Landing. Yeah, it's napalm, and he accidentally sets off the wildfire, and it just levels the city. And Danny's just like,
shit.
She was just about to win, and she just leveled the city. And then at that point, she's like, okay, I gotta focus. Cersei's still over there. I'm gonna look like a dick, but I gotta finish the job. That would have been so much more Game of Thrones and better. So props. Great story. Kyle Jones, thank you for the $5. Generic, thank you for the Canadian $10. EB Chill $2. Lucasfilm has sort of wrecked 2 franchises. Yeah. Actually 3. I mean, roundabout. Star Trek, because they stole JJ from Star Trek. And however we feel about the 2009 movie, I will still defend that as an entertaining movie. I will.
I defend it as well, because they went the smart route by saying, "Oh, look at this, folks! It's an alternate timeline. This isn't the Trek you know and love. It's still preserved. Everything's fine." And I was like, "Okay, I could buy that. It was an entertaining movie. I did enjoy it." But yeah, I think they did the appropriate thing, rather than just saying, "Yeah, we're gonna retcon everything and change things," which would have fucking pissed off a lot of Trek fans.
I
just very Trek.
Pretend the Romulus thing doesn't happen, because that does bother me. Just I want to make that very, very clear.
I agree. I love the Romulans, man.
Well,
dude,
you can keep 2009 and you can keep the movies that came out, and that was fine. But the problem is it destroyed our future television Trek. That's why it's bad.
That's why it's bad. I agree.
Yes.
By itself, 2009 movie. I'll say it right now. It's J.J. Abrams' best directed movie. Period. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's good. I think he's like average. He did Mission Impossible, which is like the most average, plain white piece of paper movie franchise in the history of franchises. I mean, it's good, and I don't remember. The only one I remember is they made Mr. Phelps the bad guy in the first one, and I wanted to strangle freaking Tom Cruise after I saw that movie. I was so angry. And just for anybody who's never watched it, just imagine them revisiting Star Trek, and it turns out all along, or not all along, but Captain Kirk just goes bad and turns into a bad guy.
No, he was bad all along. Yeah, is kind of how it was. That really pissed me off, man. I loved Mission Impossible as a kid, and when I saw the movie, I was just like, "This is so fucked."
And then you know what? They don't even do what made the show cool. Like they never do it. And it's the masks thing, and it's the spy thing. It's not the running around and jumping out of planes thing.
But the running around jumping out of planes thing, that's more Tom Cruise than anything.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying that's why I said they never do that. They never do what made it special. They just use the title. I don't know. It would be hard to convey like why the old 60s spy stuff was cool. We're so far away from that now, and it's just not really appropriate for today, because it's
too cerebral.
It's way too cerebral. Well, it's like showing a prisoner to the prisoner to a kid. Like if I try to turn my kid onto the prisoner, he'd be all, "What is this?"
It's a great show, though.
It's a great show. And I will not even begin to tell you I understand it all, because I don't. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
I mean, that movie. I mean, not movie. Sorry, that TV show. It's pretty out there, but it's great because it kind of leaves you with what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah,
This makes no sense, but it's so cool.
There's the surface stuff where like I am not a number. I'm a free man. But,
yeah.
To be honest with you, the first time I saw it, it was on a bootleg videotape, and I was tripping balls on acid, and it was great for that. It was just great for that. The Squirminator, so damn cringe. Opinionated uploads for $2. I had a hard time getting through the trailer. I'm like, this has got to be. I mean, this really has to be a parody. This really, really has to be a parody because, like,
so what the Terminator trailer?
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's so bad. I don't even want to make fun of it. I mean, that's terrible. I usually like to mock anything, but I was like, I just feel bad for you. And then Tim Miller, a director, I back. I mean, I think he was the one thing missing from Deadpool 2. I think that was missing him was huge. I liked it. It was still good, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as the first one. I don't know. What'd you guys think of Deadpool 2?
I liked it. It was enjoyable. I agree. I think that the first one was definitely better. But it was still funny. It was enjoyable. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of people said it was a little bit over the top, and the reality is Ryan Reynolds just entertains the hell out of me.
Oh, yep. Hell yeah.
And God, I just love watching the guy. I can't put it into words exactly. And then having Brad Pitt be, the invisible character, that just killed it for me.
That was pretty.
That was hilarious. North American Vikinger for $2. T3 should have been Vin Diesel, hard sci-fi horror. Yeah. I mean, like, listen, it's been a while, but why not put a big muscly guy chasing after the girl? Why have we gone away from that? I don't understand that because that kind of defined the franchise. I mean,
it's sexist.
Well, again, watching Mahler's Predator, so out of Alien, Terminator, Predator's my favorite by far. Like, it's a better movie, it's a better concept, and again, it's one of the most simple concepts in the world. Alien comes down to hunt things, run.
Yes.
You'll have robot from the future, run. Alien that spits acid, run, or alien who hunts you, run. And I love the intelligent thing that sentient. So I like that the predator is intelligent. It has needs. That makes all of the predators. They don't all like each other, and I love that we just know dick about their society. I think that's the best. It's just the best concept, and they just keep screwing it up.
That's the thing that really pissed me off is AVP is one of my favorite comic books from Dark Horse. Love the concept, and when I heard that they were going to adapt it, I was completely thrilled. And from my understanding, they were going to stick to the comic, but for whatever reason they changed it, and then we got the dumpster fire.
I think there's rights issues. Just to give more argument to the Star Trek Discovery and within Predator, within Alien, even within Terminator, the reason we've gotten so many sequels and they're all different is because there's been different people who've owned the IP, and the IP is still split. It's a split IP. I'm pretty sure Terminator, I think it's consolidated now, and that's why Cameron's back on it. But for a long time, it was a split IP, so it could never fully look like the original. That's what Star Trek is. It's a split IP. It's a slight split. It's barely noticeable. You can certainly put in the same actors, but there's just that's Hollywood. It happens to all our shit. Honestly, up until the Fox deal, Star Wars was a split IP technically because there were certain cuts that they had Disney had no rights to.
Really?
The original cut of Star Wars. I'm pretty sure it was they had no distribution rights.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so
it makes me wonder if that's one of the reasons why they wanted to buy Fox.
Spider-Man.
Here's a question for you, Gary. So why isn't it that I know that Star Trek split, so we've got Paramount and CBS split, right? So, but you've got National Amusements that owns both of them. So why isn't somebody spanking the crap out of both of those guys and fixing this problem?
They're trying right now. That's actually what's going on.
Good.
So Viacom is gonna re-merge back. Summer Redstone is the one who screwed it up. Well, Les Moonves screwed it up, but Summer Redstone screwed it up by splitting up a company he had no business splitting. Even both companies were like, "Hey, we don't need to split." Summer split it. I mean, I bet you there's some kind of like he wanted to give one of his mistresses a job and he had to split the something stupid like that. I'm sure. I mean, that kind of crap happens. I have no idea why, but they did it. And Midnight's Edge is really the people to talk about this. But,
yeah, I watched their video and that was really good. Unfortunately, I've forgotten the majority of it, but that was really interesting to see what happened.
It's fascinating. That stuff is fascinating. Spider-Man is a split IP. Okay. That's why Spider-Man, I saw the debate going on online, and I was trying to yell at the videos, but nobody was hearing me because they were recorded. I was yelling, Spider-Man cannot be the face of the MCU. Spider-Man will never be the face of the MCU. They're trying to reduce. The reason they're trying to make a new face is because they can't use him as the face anymore because Sony owns a piece of the character, not just the
Disney
distribution
will
right.
Sony then.
They
no big
can't.
Deal.
So Venom was successful. Into the Spider-Verse was successful. Those movies saved Sony and Marvel did.
Yeah,
Marvel,
but for how long?
Well, not long. They'll be dumb once
give it a year or two, and Disney will be buying Sony.
Well, they're going to forge ahead with that Spider-Man cinematic universe. You don't think that's going to piss off Marvel? That's going to piss off Marvel. And then Marvel, this is the company who buried one of the biggest comic book internet IPs on the planet ever.
Yes,
X-Men.
I know.
You were there.
Okay.
You were there. Well, no, they buried also the rest of their comics. They decided,
they also buried Fantastic Four because of Fox and whatnot.
Yep. What do you think the chances are we get a Fantastic Four that looks like the Fantastic Four? I say 0%.
I'm going with never. It's never going to happen.
Yep, which almost makes it better. To be honest with you, it makes the comic more pure, in my opinion. So I'm like, fine, do your dumb Fantastic Four.
I'm kind of fine with them not ruining the Fantastic Four at this point.
Yep. I hate to say it. You have to get Rick Berman and the guy who rebooted Battlestar Galactica back to work on DS9. Ronald D. Moore. Yeah, I've been begging Chief Cook. I've been for $4.99. Thank you. I've been begging to have him come back. But he's busy working on that supposed streaming service that we're never going to see from Apple, working on some sci-fi thing for them. Cornelius Bruni's. Yesterday, you said Twilight Zone was the best written show. But do you remember Tales from the Dark Side? My favorite. I do.
I do.
Great show. Great show.
Loved
Nowhere near as good as Twilight Zone, but great show. No, Twilight Zone, yes, I will stand by that statement forever. The original Twilight Zone was the best written show in the history of television. Nothing will even get close.
Well, and it was groundbreaking. So that's the other cool thing about Twilight Zone is, they kind of did it first. I mean, they took some stuff, some Lovecraft stuff and some different things, but they made it, nowadays when you make TV, you just can't reproduce it. So you look at the new Twilight Zone series and you're like, you want to like it, you want to love it, but you feel like it's already been done.
Yeah, and I heard Mark Zickery had a very interesting take on it that I loved, and he said except for the 80s Twilight Zone, all the Twilight Zones that have happened afterwards are treated as gimmicks, as like little side projects that people put their name on but don't put a ton of effort into, and you have to treat the Twilight Zone like you would treat a Game of Thrones, like you treat any other TV show. You need to be there, do the grind every day. Just because it's an anthology doesn't mean you don't need to pay direct attention to each episode. And that's Jordan Peele or Justin Peele, whatever his name is. Jordan Peele, like, just put his name on it basically, and he's announcing. He's not really overseeing it very much. So that's why it sucks.
Yeah, you got to Rod Serling that thing. You can't Jordan Peele it.
Nope. Damn straight. What did I think about the real YT $2.99? What did you think about the Sarah Connor Chronicles? It is in my top 2 of shows that were canceled way too early that I would love to see pick back up again.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I dug it. I thought it really found its way. It had a rough beginning, but it still had a great cast. Yeah. It's a shame. I was pissed. And I don't think it would have gotten canceled today. If that show was out today, it wouldn't have gotten canceled. It was a little ahead of its time.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, Summer Glau was also awesome in it.
Yep.
Summer Glau's an awesome in everything.
Yeah, she is.
Hey, can we talk about a little bit about the Rotten Tomatoes thing? And that's burning my.
No, let's do it. No, so I could flip in and out, and the super chats will guide and answer. It's kind of hard to explain how I run this, but I can talk about Game of Thrones and Rotten Tomatoes at the same time. It's no
chaos,
problem
buddy.
whatsoever.
Chaos.
Chaos is a ladder. It's a ladder.
But, after that, check your Twitter DMs, man. I sent you a really funny tweet from Piers Morgan about Game of Thrones. Okay. That dude's got to be like the world's biggest troll now. It's so hilarious. I can't believe that what he's stating in that tweet is actually he's being serious.
I will look at it. And that reminds me, and I'm not saying it because you sent me that DM. Sometimes people try to email or message me during live streams and stuff. I am locked in on the live stream. The only thing because of my raging adult ADD, I can only pay attention to my co-host, the chat, and I can't. Beyond that, I'm lost. I even ignore my wife. So so I'll get to any messages afterwards for sure. But until then, okay. So I'm looking for the news, and I do appreciate them. My brain can't.
No, I hear you. I'm kind of the same way.
Focused on verified ticket buyers. Let's go to Variety on this one. Okay. So what are your thoughts on this move by Rotten Tomatoes, which that's a big subject around here. I got a ton of subs for my Rotten Tomatoes videos. So it's kind of a big deal. I should have done a video on it, but
you got to do a video on it because there's only one out there on YouTube right now. So it's going to be a hot topic in the next few days because Rotten Tomatoes, we should say Fandango, really.
That really is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
NBC Universal.
I mean, we gotta hurry up. You know what we need to do, guys? Let's get together and make our own website because this is just a mess waiting to happen. So yeah, Gary, go ahead and break it down, but I'm disgusted by it.
Yeah. So what it says here, and actually, honestly, the quartering was the first person I saw do a video on it, and that's how I didn't even know this happened. So they hinted they were going to do this, but they're going to do it now. So it's going to destroy the site. Rotten Tomatoes revamps movie audience scores to focus on verified ticket buyers. Yeah, this is going to so F them. So go ahead and do it. I'm just like, buy Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, so that there will be a need that needs filled. There will be, and you can do that. Rotten Tomatoes is dramatically changing its audience score methodology for movies. The site's standard user rating is will now reflect only moviegoers who can prove they've bought a ticket to see it in a theater. It's another troll fighting move by Rotten Tomatoes. Before I even go on, how are you going to fight the fake movie reviews from the critics? How are you going to fight those?
Unfightable.
Man. They're not going to do jack shit about that.
Because I have evidence that they fudge reviews and softball reviews and questions.
You do.
Yeah. So
there's a whole podcast dedicated to it.
Yeah, there is. And it's amazing. I've checked. They haven't brought that up once. I hope I see them at Comic-Con this year.
Oh, what?
I really
Tomatoes?
do. Oh, no. Sci-fi.
Oh, sci-fi. Oh,
I'm going to all the panels. Like I'm not going to Hall H or at all. No, I told you last year, I'm going to like the diversity in comics panel, and I'm going to all those. I wish I would have recorded what I heard in that panel last year. I'll talk about that later. Designed to curb coordinated review bombs. Again, I ask, what about the critics? Aimed at pushing down the audience score for films that certain bad faith actors like Brie Larson. Oh, I'm sorry. In February, the site. She's just bad actor, not a bad faith actor. My bad. Sorry, my mistake.
Well played, Gary. Well played.
Thank you. The site is filled with a stupid ad that's bugging in my ear right now. You guys can't hear that, so I could just do this right now. The site disabled user comments prior to the movie's release and changed the want to see rating from a percentage score, which had been a subject to tampering by trolls. Tampering by trolls.
Yep.
Tampering by
man.
trolls.
How do
Because
you
apparently people with opinions that disagree with you are now just trolls.
You're just a troll if you don't. I mean, okay, so if you didn't like Captain Marvel, you're a troll. Period.
Well, they got rid of the feature that said whether you wanted to see it or not. I mean, that's not even a.
It's
I mean,
intention.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to see it, so I'm gonna. It was dumb. There was only one reason they got rid of it. And
yeah, Disney picked up the phone, gave them a call, and said, fix it now.
that's it. The CEO of Fandango used to work for Disney, and worked for him for a very long time. So I'm not saying that there's a connection there. So don't be surprised if a phone call got picked up and exactly what you just said.
Yep.
So that little highlighted thing is want to see. That was the question Rotten Tomatoes asked us.
Mm-hmm.
They asked us to answer their question. We took the time to give them their information, our personal information, which they then sell, and answered their question honestly. And I guarantee you the percentage of people who purposely went to downvote the I want to see is, I'll be generous, 15%. 15%. They wiped out 50%. And upon wiping out that 50% and not applying it to the vote, it still is in the rotten category. It was really in the 30s. I fully believe that. This is the most protected actress and movie of all time because of Disney. And yeah, so they ask us a question, we answer it, and now we're trolls. Okay. I have a video response for I'll tie into this, but I think I have some actual physical evidence of a real troll, and it's not from us. It's something else. So you guys will hear about that tomorrow. Nice. Rating from the percentage score, which had been subject to tampering by trolls. F you. To show the raw number of Rotten Tomato moviegoers who said they intended to see the movie. But it's also a way for Fandango, which owns Rotten Tomatoes, to drive more ticket sales initially.
Shit.
The only way users can have their ratings count toward the audience will be through a Fandango purchase. Doesn't this make you not want to buy tickets through Fandango anymore?
Oh, absolutely. Not that I ever used Fandango to begin with, but.
Well, and they created this feature, right? So, personally, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, look. If you got people if you want people's real opinion about, I went and saw the movie and this is what I thought about it. Okay. Maybe there's a few people out there like, I didn't go see it and I'm still going to say it's a terrible movie. Okay. Maybe that happens, but here's the problem. Now you're forcing people to go through this thing and you can only buy your ticket through Fandango. They've announced that they're going to let in other theaters at some point, and I actually went to the website, checked it all out. It's coming soon, I guess, but you have to buy your ticket through there or you don't have an opinion. And that just chaps my hide, man. It's just the wrong thing to do.
What about TV shows? How are we going to prove we saw those?
Get your Nielsen box, I guess.
I honestly, I like my convenience. I buy my stuff through, where else can I buy movie tickets? AMC, Fandango's first thing, movietickets.com.
Yeah.
Who are they owned by? Hang on. I just want to see who they're owned by. Movietickets.com are owned by AMC Theaters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So
no, that's Fandango. Movietickets.com. Is it really parent organization? It's a monopoly.
Oh,
look at that.
Holy shit. So subsidiary of Fandango.
Is it really?
Look at that. I got it on the screen. Look at that. It says it's CBS Corporation and famous players are among on board launch. It's now a subsidiary of Fandango.
Oh, dude. What the fuck?
Breaking news right there.
Where else can I buy movie tickets?
I mean,
from the theater.
Yeah, the theater, cinema.
I buy mine directly from the theater.
Yeah. Well, nowadays everybody wants to reserve a seat, so you kind of almost have to buy them online.
Is the theater using Fandango though? That's the question.
That is a very good question indeed, Gary. I don't know.
Okay, back to the article. All right, because I was gonna say, like, boycott the shit out of Fandango. Like, don't buy your tickets from Fandango. I know it's gonna be kind of a pain in the ass, but honestly, they I would. They don't want to hear from you. They want your fucking money though. So Phantom Menace, honestly, I think this is something we got to get behind because this was directed towards us, directed directly towards us. So
100%.
we should respond in kind. We should really respond in kind. I don't know how many people would be behind that, but I'm more than happy to just buy my tickets at theater, or maybe you can buy online from the theater website. If you go to Cinemark or something like that, maybe you can buy them there.
You can buy them through Cinemark. You can buy them through like Edwards Cinemas. They have their own.
Yeah.
Well, I think Edwards is actually through Fandango. Duh.
Yep.
So Cinemark is on its own. If you go to Cinemark.
I'm curious. Let me see what Santikos uses.
Whoa. Fandango insists that boosting ticket prices was not the primary driver of the audience score change.
I'm
You
sure.
can say that, but
Noting that it has deals with AMC Theaters, Regal, and Cinemark Theaters to participate in the program to let their customers verify their ticket purchases on Rotten Tomatoes sometime later this year. Asked if the change of Rotten Tomatoes audience score system was really about selling more tickets through Fandango, Chief Marketing Officer Lori Pantel responded, absolutely not. We're open to any partner that wants to come on board.
But the problem is, Gary, now they're going to get all these people buying tickets through Fandango so that they can leave their comments and their reviews. And so people are just going to be used to it. So it's a sales driving tactic, regardless of what they say.
Full credit to my friend Tom at Midnight's Edge. Tom, if you're out there, love you, buddy. He brought up this point, and I'm stealing it, but it's Tom. So TM to Tom. The company is called Rotten Tomatoes. They were the first trolls because they literally threw Rotten Tomatoes at people on the stage that they didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the fucking company's name is. So it was built on trolls. So this is Silicon Valley, like invading everything. Silicon Valley used to be the rebels. The reason this whole thing was built because this was part of the do-it-yourself generation. They didn't want to be beholden to companies. It was a little punk rock, and now they have become what all that stuff they hated.
They become sellouts.
Bill Gates. This is beyond sellout. No. Okay, you listen to Bill Hicks. Come on, you're in Texas. You listen to Bill Hicks, right? Did you not listen to Bill Hicks?
I did not listen to Bill Hicks.
Okay, fucking Texas kicks Comix Division out of the state right now. You fucking not listen to Bill Hicks, dude. Oh my God, I'm gonna fire you.
Okay, I've listened to him a few times.
I don't pay you, but I can't fire you. Jesus Christ. What? Okay. Well, there's a whole sellout scene where he's like sucking Satan sucking Satan's peckers, sucking. You guys know the people the cool people who listen to Bill Hicks know what I'm talking about. Fuck's sake. God damn, this thing pissed me off. Thanks for showing me this, Shane. As for why Fandango is making the change to Rotten Tomatoes movie audiences to protect Little Bree. Instead of waiting until more exhibitor partners are integrated. Yeah, instead of waiting for everybody else, they're doing it now.
Yep.
Why?
In fact, they started with Aladdin this weekend.
They're starting with Aladdin.
They started. And you know what's crazy about it? I went and looked on it to check it out because I actually tried to rate it and go through the process. So they say they have 956 verified ratings, right? And so it's a 92% audience score. But when you go inside, it shows there's actually only 347 verified audience. So they don't even have their crap together yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, at this point, they're dead. They're dead. They just got rid of the audience score. So you know what? Everybody just come over to YouTube. Just come over to YouTube, come into live streams, voice your opinion here. We're not going to tell you to go away. We're not going to silence you. Even if you don't agree with this, it's fine. I don't care. But you have a voice here for now. Rotten Tomatoes change only means the primary movie audience score ratings will be computed only for authenticated ticket buyers in the US. Okay, so this is just bullshit. Now, where is the TV? Where's TV? There it is. With the tomato meter system, Fandango has responded to the criticism that Rotten Tomatoes needed to widen the pool of movie and TV reviewers used for the scores. Okay, yeah, diversity. I got you. So no comment at all on TV. All right, let's go to Game of Thrones.
Begone, plebs! You're not allowed to have an opinion. Right? That's basically what it is. You don't like it? Too bad. Have some more crap. We'll spoon feed it into your mouth.
You will like it.
You must eat it.
You will smile as you're eating our crap.
I can see you twirling your little mustache.
I was actually doing the twirling gesture.
Nice.
And he doesn't even have a mustache. I know.
No, I don't.
So what's going to happen to this? Wait a minute. 5 people have reviewed Game of Thrones season 8. Five reviewers have reviewed. I guess just
wah, wah.
Yeah,
It's like a lose-lose.
Totally is. Harp. Damn it, your comment just went away. Harp the Radical Moderate. Rotten Tomatoes is interesting how many positive review bombs and positive fake reviews there are. This will backfire on them. I agree.
I totally, that's it's a double-edged sword on that one. So they're getting, no, this they just, that was one of the main. Okay, I guarantee you they didn't have the Captain Marvel that month. They had the most traffic ever to their site. I have no data to prove that. I just know it because more people were talking about Rotten Tomatoes than any month that I've ever seen. And I pay attention to this shit and have for a decade. So just to Rotten Tomatoes. So they just fuck themselves because Disney. Yeah, this wasn't a friendly call. Disney probably threatened to we're going to start our own movie ticket company or some shit.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good call, and they can. So there you go.
So what's going to happen here is more grassroots stuff. We need to have more indie stuff. We need to have more Indiegogo campaigns with comic books, with games, RPGs. Make your own shit. Screw the franchises. I'll review it if it's good. All day long. Not that I'm going to help much, but I'll try. Start a YouTube channel. You know what? Watch more YouTube.
Yeah.
Watch more YouTube. That's going to be my line from now on. Read a book and watch more YouTube.
That's the thing. I watch more YouTube than I actually watch TV these days. It's been like this for a while, actually.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've become YouTube. Even though we do a show, I'm obsessed with watching everybody and hearing their opinions, and it's the only place you can get some honesty, anyways, these days.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You guys who've listened to this, to Gary and had me on, you've heard this. You've heard me say this before. Basically, the only true critic you can listen to is the one who actually bought the ticket, and not the one that was provided the free ticket.
Right. Oh, yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get honesty.
No. And listen, franchises, I'm going to paraphrase something George said not too long ago when he was talking about, this was prior to episode 3 of season 8. Okay. Just keep that in context. That, hey, you want people talking about your story because the worst thing that can happen to a writer or a creative of any kind or a YouTuber or anybody who's in entertainment or anything is for people not to be talking about it, to be completely forgotten. Mm-hmm. So that's what's next. That's what happens. That's what happens after the rage. People will get frustrated, and I'm sure there's people out there who go, fine, man, we'd love for Nerdrotic to move on from Star Trek, and we'd love for if all Doomcock, Midnight's Edge, myself, if we just decide, we're going to just not talk about Star Trek, you're going to watch your parrot analytics go down. There's the disinterest in Star Trek far outweighs the interest. The passion is way more behind the disinterest. There's tepid interest. There's I want it to be good. There's tons of that. And that's probably the majority, but listen, the anger, that's where the majority of the passion's coming from, is the anger, and we could just not care. And I suspect that's what Disney is fearing is happening to Star Wars. And
it's pretty apparent. I think that apathy is beginning to take over the franchise or the fandom, and that's what's going to kill it. I mean, to quote Tom Brevoort from Marvel, an angry fan is an engaged fan, but the thing is, the anger only lasts so long before it becomes apathy. Yep.
Anger is a form of love. It is. It's a form of love. We are everybody here is a nerd, and we all love stuff. We all love our stuff. There's varying degrees, but I've kind of taken up this saying here lately is we are begging you to take our money. Listen to us.
Yeah.
because we're going to stop.
Yes.
We're going to
100%.
flat out stop.
But that's the thing that they think though, is that the
I
plebs,
agree.
they're going to continue to give us money. We can still give them crap, and I think that's becoming very apparent that it's not going to be the case. Because have you heard about what was going on with ESPN, where they're like, yeah, maybe injecting politics into sports wasn't a good idea. Even Bob Iger was basically saying, yeah, this is bad. We're going to stop now.
And look at how long it took them to do it, though.
How long has that been going on?
It's been going on for 5 years.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Wow.
5 years. It was going on before the election, but it wasn't that bad. But they got dialed way up in 2016, and I haven't watched a second of Sports Center in 3 years. I don't care about sports anymore. So
I don't care about sports ever. So I was never into
Chargers
it.
left, and they took my heart with them. Now I don't have a heart. Releasing the last books and letting them compete with the show. Releasing the books after show bombs and being welcome as a hero. I said that on my season 3 live, on the episode 3 live stream. I'm like, and it just hit me. I'm like, I bet you he saw what they were doing in the show, and he went, I'm just not finished yet. And it's the end. And he just goes, duh. Yeah. Okay, here it's done. He just had to wait till the ink is dry. And all of a sudden we get an announcement that the book's going to be out. I don't think that's a coincidence. I
don't think it's a coincidence. I think this meme is pretty spot on.
I fucking love this meme. I like the crappy ones that look, that's just, I like that. That's not, I mean, move on and find a show to watch, create memes about Game of Thrones season 8 and complain forever.
Oh, dang.
Oh, when you realize that Ilan Payne killed more Starks than the Night King. Yep.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I'm getting off the exit for now, guys. I'm sorry. That's the thing, is I need to get off that exit. I might get back on later and find a new show, but I'm still pissed. I want to still talk about it.
Yeah, me too. I thought it would be done right now. I'm being real with you folks. I was fully prepared to take this week off. I'm like, hey, I got close to 100. I was going to motor to 100,000. I'm like, I can't. I got too much to do. So I was like, maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't. But I'm gonna. Then all of a sudden, more shit came up. When I saw the plane flying over Seattle, I'm like, oh, this isn't going away. This isn't going
right.
away.
You're right.
The plane flying over Seattle. Clue me in.
Oh, there was a plane flew over Seattle day before yesterday that says, please, or rewrite Game of Thrones season 8, please.
Yeah, no, it's huge, man.
Yeah,
it's everywhere. By the way, congratulations.
The backlash from the whole oh god, what was it, the change.org or something like that, whatever, to rewrite season 8, that's been hilarious.
Here's a meme for it right here. And Sophie Turner opened her mouth right before her movie's coming out, which is basically a remake of the worst X-Men movie, isn't it?
Oh, that's right, she's in the X-Men.
Yeah, she's an uninspiring Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
especially after Femke. You don't, you don't follow Femke with, mood after season 8. That's funny. She's got the dagger in there. That's funny.
Yeah.
My face when I found out that they filmed scenes of Tormund and Brienne for the finale, but they cut them in favor of Tyrion rearranging chairs. What?
Are you
Is that
serious?
for real? Oh, Tormine. That's the only thing I've ever shipped in my life is Tormine or Tormien. Okay, I can't remember what it is. The books are my last hope. Fan optimistically waiting for a dream of spring. Martin, I forbid you to die. I don't want mushy memes. Save that for a Song of Ice and Fire. This sub still shitting on D&D nearly a week after the finale. I'm so proud. Oh, we're not gonna finish.
Coming.
King of the North. Look at that. God damn. What could have been?
How the hell do they end it that way? How do they end it with Jon? Jon was my favorite. I don't know how they end it with him going north with wildlings to a wall that doesn't exist. Give me a break.
I'm doing a short video this weekend. It's not going to be a popular opinion, but I have like evidence.
Oh, I can't wait.
I have proof. I have. Well, I mean, like there's some things you want to lay out, right? And it's debatable, okay? And listen, I don't have like factual. I'm going to lay out a circumstantial set of breadcrumbs that's going to lead you to this is what happened. And if you and it really depends on your belief system whether you want to believe it or not. And that's totally up to you. And I get it. That's fine. But I've been around, okay? And it's usually listen. Does anybody doubt at all? Who watched the show, does anybody doubt that they mailed this in? Like they half-assed it. They absolutely half-assed it.
Oh, absolutely, man. Not even watching the show, I can tell they fucking phoned it in.
You cannot you can't tell me this was their best ever. Now I know there's some people going, no, they suck that bad. This is their best effort. And while that's very funny, it's funny and it makes me laugh. I watched seasons 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and these are the same guys.
I think they were done. They're ready to move on to whatever shit they're gonna fuck up in Star Wars.
Yeah,
I think they didn't think they could do any wrong. I think that they were too.
Agreed.
Yeah, they just thought, we can do whatever we want, and the fans will watch, and they'll accept whatever we give them.
Yeah, that's probably the level of arrogance that we're dealing with here.
And that's the thing that that keeps me making videos, that keeps me angry, is taking fans for granted. And
I think it's a mixture of both. I think they phoned it in. I honestly think that they would have been like, the fans are gonna fucking love this.
They should have got a second opinion.
Nothing is ever all one thing. Yeah, I think it's a factor of all those things, that they had inflated egos. They had a bunch of yes men around them and women, and they probably actually thought that these guys were doing so after each episode, they were doing these little interviews. They didn't do one for the last episode, and they were explaining character motivations, and they thought this was a good idea. Because we didn't know. I was left like, why did Danny spurg out with the bells? I had a couple theories in my head, but I was never shown anything in the show. And then I have people who just picked up the show a couple of years ago telling me I don't understand the show I've been following since, the 3rd episode. Okay. I didn't watch it from the 1st because I didn't know about it. My wife turned me onto it, and I'm, major OCD. So about all the books, I've told the story. I dived into it. So within a couple of years, I was caught up with anybody who had already read the books for 15 years, because I'd read them over and over and over again, because I have to. I read a book, I don't catch it all. I have to read it again. It kind of sucks, but I digress. It wasn't there. It was just mailed in. And if someday they come out and apologize, we're a pretty forgiving nation. We've forgiven Joel Schumacher. We've forgiven Sam Raimi. I was pretty pissed at Sam after Spider-Man 3.
I don't think that was his fault, though. I don't blame Sam.
I didn't know all the details, but I was pissed at him.
I was too. The only compelling character is one of your villains. You kind of fuck things up.
I mean, the argument can be made that show right here, Tywin Lannister, one of the greatest characters on television. That one's pretty funny. I'll not have my writing ability be questioned by a bunch of savages. D&D free folk. I'm not questioning your writing ability. D&D. I'm denying its existence. Good time. Oh, he's wearing a Targaryen shirt. That's funny as hell. When you spent thousands of years living in a tree and never realized you could make yourself king. Huh? Fuck. Jen Reaper out there. Okay, we're gonna get super chats now. Enough of the memes for now. And thanks again for coming on, guys. Good conversation. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves this evening.
Yes, thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Let me see this. Hang on a second.
Brian's going to kick himself that he couldn't be here.
Yeah, Brian.
What's up with that, Brian?
Yeah, what's up with that, Brian? What's up, Cleveland Brown? I mean,
Shane's the better one anyway. So
right,
yeah, we obviously got the top one anyway. So
you got the top one. He may be sexy, but I'm still the top one.
Oh, you're way sexier because you're here. I'm just kidding. Tech guy, $2. McKing brand the cereal. That's right. That's right.
That's
funny.
brilliant. I missed that super chat. That's great.
Hey, what was that shirt place you said I should check out?
Mixtees.com for sure. They'll get you hooked up with your own personal designer. You don't even got to do it yourself.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, it'd take me 2 seconds to do it. I could do it while we're live streaming right now. I've got my graphic ready to go.
They just won't approve it. Yeah.
They just won't approve it, those bastards. Fan on Raw. Yeah, I missed that one earlier. Yeah, sorry about that. And we're gonna get down here.
There was like a really great like Star Wars shirt that got taken down. And I want to say it was like related to episode 9. For the life of me, I can't fucking remember.
Well, oh my God, another video I was screaming at is what EVS did. One about the Solo 2 petition, and I'm like, dude, Soyo 2, you got to make a Soyo 2 shirt like right now. He's got the design there, he's got the font. Like, make your Soyo 2. It says make Solo 2 happen, and you use whatever you want. That's probably pretty derogatory. Before and after that, I'll leave that to your imagination. But there you go. I was yelling at his video. Messiah Series 800 Model 101, says Peter Davison. A Messiah series, yes, because the Messiah, it's Messiah robots now. It's not just a mantle; it's just something we can make.
Yes,
yeah. That sounds like a band, Artificial Messiah, or
Artificial Messiah. Yeah, this is like a band.
Thank you for the Australian $5. Michael Deesh, do you think the fan uprisings are having an effect? Behind the scenes, all of these franchises, they are ruining. Yes, they are. It's still relatively new. So the point I made with ESPN and how long it took them to turn their stuff around, and Jeremy did a great video on that, and was, 5 years. So we are, like, honestly, it started in comic books. I'd say the swell up, we can't, people like to connect it to Gamergate. They're not. They're two different things. The comic thing started early 2017, and that was a precursor for all of entertainment. So, and then it started with entertainment with, I'll say Star Trek first, because the groundswell on Star Wars wasn't until after The Last Jedi. Star Trek Discovery happened before that. So it was much smaller though, but that's where it started. So I'd say with comic books in early 2017. So we're only a couple of years in, and it's evolved.
And like we were talked about earlier, the fans have already had impact on Discovery. I mean, I think that fans completely changed the direction of season 2. And if it falls off, the legs fall off and they end up not going further, it'll be because of the fans that all the focus goes to Picard and Discovery gets left behind.
Yep. Well, I know one thing's for sure with what happened with Secret Empire. They actually changed the ending because of the fan reaction was so bad. Because it was supposed to end with Falcon Cap instead of Steve Rogers coming back.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, and they've done that before. I mean, they changed Hush because of the reaction. So if you guys, I
thought Hush was changed because DC basically kind of chickened out
because of the fan reaction.
Was it because of the fan reaction?
Yeah, it was the fan reaction was fucking crazy. I wish they would have stuck with it. To be honest with you, it would have been a better story. But they sure didn't listen to the fans after Tom King and that marriage thing, huh? Till it was too late.
Oh, fucking now Bendis is going to be running the show.
Yeah, you want to be careful. You get rid of one and it just replaced by, it's like 1A and here comes 1B. Daniel, $5. Can't have good stories in movies or shows when leftist writers see yesterday's heroes and villains and the villains as underdogs. Complete descent. And I would argue it's either leftists and it's just postmodernists. I don't know if that. I generally think they're probably all mostly on the left, vast majority. But there's just a bunch of nihilism and postmodernism running through Hollywood right now because of that, and just basic good old fashioned storytelling, which everybody likes. By the way, everybody. Boys, girls, man, woman, right, left, center, top, above, whatever. We like good stories. I think You know, there's people who don't like Lord of the Rings because they don't like fantasy, but generally it's a pretty well received movie. Like the critics loved it. Most of the people loved it because it's a pretty wholesome, good story. But in its wholesomeness, it's still badass. I mean, there's heads flying and everything.
Fuck, dude.
I mean, yeah, but it's still like at its heart, it's like good versus evil, you know, and they're they don't flesh out the bad
that is
guy at
such
all.
a universal concept too. I don't understand why this postmodern nonsense is kind of destroying and all that.
The bad guy is a giant eyeball.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't even see it. He gets killed in the beginning and doesn't really reform. You know, I wonder where Harry Potter got that Voldemort thing.
It's
Yeah,
Hypnotoad.
right.
The main villain is Hypnotoad.
That's what made Sauron so scary, though, is because he wasn't corporeal.
Yeah.
No, that's it. He had demon hordes, and that's what we really wanted to see. I mean, the special thing about Game of Thrones and where it let the fans down was and again, I don't want to hear fan expectations. They set this up. They're like, we're going to have a story with dragons and zombies. Yeah. And where the magic's earned. So it's going to not be there very much, but when it is, it's going to blow you away and it's going to have a price. Like whoever wields it will probably die or something horrible will happen to them. And that's what happens in the books. And the books are definitely building up to this thing. And you're finding out that like magic was suppressed. And, you know, there's definitely somebody planting thoughts in Daenerys' head, in Jon's head. Like they're having visions in their dreams, like somebody's moving the pieces. And you think maybe it's the three-eyed raven, but it's probably somebody else. That's the thing. And that the promise of that was just, just completely crap. Oathbreakers. That's what they are. Jaegerbomb, $5. What is the best case and worst case for Picard? Is there anything to look forward to in cinema, TV, games at this point? What is left to like? Oh, there's plenty left to like. Jaegerbomb.
Games? Fuck, dude. Cyberpunk 2070. I think that's 2077. That looks amazing. I am looking forward to that.
What's up, boys?
Hey.
You're late.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to catch up. I need to be on the show again because I didn't get any time this time.
What? We let you talk plenty. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, man, it looked like so much fun. I can only watch it on mute because I was in this meeting for like 3 hours.
That sounds boring.
It was boring, actually.
Well, where are you?
I'm driving right now from Los Angeles back to Orange County.
Oh, well, we might still be on. We're going to be going for a little while.
All right, well, when I get back, I'll log back in. Sorry to interrupt.
It's all good, Brian. Good to talk to you.
That's a
All right, later.
That's a standard Brian thing. I'm surprised he wasn't dancing.
Oh, well, I mean, he could. Jaegerbomb. Okay, back to Jaeger. I'm going to repeat Jaegerbomb's question for $5 because it was good. What is the best case and worst case for Picard? And the second part is there any good? Is there anything good to look forward to in games, cinema, or TV? So you had a game there, Comix Division. What are you looking forward to, Shane?
As far as I haven't had a lot of time with games, to be honest with you, because everything's crazy. But I'm actually playing EverQuest. So I went back.
Holy shit, EverQuest.
Yeah.
Damn,
Can you
dude.
believe it's still out there?
Are there still public servers going around? Or
There
are
are. Yeah. If you go to what is the Crazy Horse or one of those, they actually are. You can go back. If you had characters back in 1999, you can play again. Your same old characters you had before.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So you got to check that out. I'm not down with the new games, but I go back to the old stuff.
I know there's servers out there. Let me turn my camera back on. There's servers out there for City Heroes now. So
yes, that just came out. Yeah.
if you can play that again, then I'm in. As far as TV, there's Legion comes out June 24th. You can catch up on that. That's really good. There was season 1 of Taboo with Tom Hardy. And you can kind of watch that as its own thing. It's going to be like another year till season 2 comes out. It's by the guy who does Peaky Blinders, and it's fantastic. It's like the best thing he's been in, and he's been in a lot of good shit. It's his best work as an actor, and it's straight up dude material, but the ladies like Tom Hardy too, and he's walking around in a loincloth a lot, so you get girls or guys will like that. Whoever's into that stuff, that's cool, but it's badass. It's got a little bit of magic in it, and it's a period piece about a guy who used to be not so nice, and his dad owns a shipping company, and it's right around the time when the East India Company still basically controlled England, and it was right at the end of the war of 1812. So the US and England are parsing up Canada and stuff, and it turns out that this kid owns the island British Columbia is on. So Victoria Island, I can't remember, but it's all over that. It's great. It's so great. It's 8 episodes. It's fantastic. Oh, and he's in love with his sister. So there's some Game of Thrones stuff there too. And it's really great show. And then of course there's The Expanse. The Expanse is simply the best show on television now, and been talking about that for years here, and I can't wait for it to come back. And they blew a huge opportunity by not dropping a teaser trailer. I mean, look at that Picard trailer. It was thrown together in an afternoon on Michael Chabon's vineyard. And that was it. Michael Chabon just had a 7D. He was shooting it himself. He just had a tripod there, whatever. They could have done something like that. And I know they have a bunch of stuff shot. So I'm really not understanding why they didn't do that, or nobody told them about that. It's like, I mean, The Expanse has to know that how many of us are going, watch The Expanse. Game of Thrones disappointed you. Watch The Expanse. Like, I'm not the only one saying that. A lot of people are saying that. So,
November,
guys.
Get back to it in November when it comes out. Expanse is unbelievable, and it's going to save us. And also, don't forget the Orville coming out in 2020.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Lucifer has been good. I really enjoyed it. I haven't caught the new season, but I've heard good things about it. So there's that. Trying to remember what else.
Doom Patrol is not for everybody. I would recommend it to people who are comic fans. I can't recommend it to people who would be like just regular like Game of Thrones fans. I don't think you'd like it. It's pretty weird. It had a pretty decent finale, but it was it had a finale. Sorry, spoilers. With a rat making out with a cockroach. It's really bizarre stuff.
It sounds like Meet the Feebles.
It's very Grant Morrison. So if you like Grant Morrison comics, you're good. If you like the show Happy, you're good.
I was gonna say Happy.
Happy's pretty good.
That was a fucking amazing show. I really enjoyed that. I need to see season 2.
Thank you, Daniel, for the $5. I think, around these Hollywood being an echo chamber has definitely hurt it. There's blacklisting going on. There's blacklisting going on in comics. I mean, tons of it. So all the people who are blacklisted are basically making their own comics, and it turns out they're making more money. So that whole saying of one thing closes and one door closes, another one opens up.
It still kills me that they're trying to rope in the Indiegogo, money into. Oh, look, the comic industry is doing so fantastic. And it's like, no, dude, these people are doing great. The comic book industry is fucked.
Yep. Cardinal Sin, $1.99. Come with me if you want McQueen. McQueen, you're McQueen. Opinionated uploads, $5. Have you reached out to the Fourth Age yet? I'm a super chat out of this stream. Take all my monies. Opinionated uploads, the Fourth Age. Hang on. Let me go. Well, it's just best if I do it now. Fourth Age YouTube, and I'll shoot them. This is how I got a hold of Popcast. Somebody told me to email you guys, and I just did it on a live stream.
And I appreciate that. Thank you, Bear.
No problem. There it is right there. So the Fourth Age. Well, tell the Fourth Age I can't see an email. He's got to email me, Gary@nerderotic.com, and I'll get to it eventually. I will. I have 1,800 emails right now. I got to go through.
Oh, that's insane.
And that's not counting my Facebook DMs, and the wife, and I think my oldest son is here. He's going to be helping me, whether he likes it or not, especially since he ate my lunch today.
I was going to say he's going to pay for that food.
Bastard,
Yeah.
man.
Oh my
What's up
God.
with that?
It's like, I feel like he never left. Oh, we're just falling back into old habits, huh? Okay. Chris James, $5 to expect HBO to have invested heavily into a product that they no longer have a way to monetize is cray whenever has a corporation done different. It seems like to me that maybe they didn't get a bigger return as you think they got, because they seem so really disinterested in doing anything else. You think they would want to make spinoffs. You have a CEO, the biggest show in the world just ended. Whether it ended happy or not, it was the biggest show in the world. Everybody's talking about it. This drowned out Avengers Endgame conversation online here on YouTube. It ended Avengers Endgame conversation like that. And I mean, so that makes Game of Thrones bigger than the MCU. Bigger. Because more people were talking about it. It just derailed everything. And you want to know why it was bigger? Because it was with us for so long. That's why TV is the future. People are going to get more invested, more passionate about it. Movies are, it's every couple of years, you forget about it, and with Game of Thrones for 10 weeks, you were locked in. I mean, freaking locked in. And that's why it was a mistake to go to 6 episodes, and everybody's talking about it. So yeah, you would think, Chris, you would totally think they would want more of that. But I read that entire interview, and go read Bloy's interview on Deadline if you want to hear somebody who sounds very disinterested in this stuff. He wants to make, Pretty Little Liars, and I thought they got rid of the guys like that at HBO. I thought they were bringing in more people who wanted genre, but now all of a sudden it's like, oh, genre is expensive. And that's the biggest problem.
It is expensive, but it's also really good.
Yeah, it's more invested storytelling.
If they didn't make money off of the Game of Thrones story on HBO, then they were the wrong people to be doing it, because the whole world watched it. So
yeah, well, whoever was in charge of Game of Thrones is merchandising was an idiot. Was a just complete idiot. And like, whoever you are, you sucked at your job, like beyond suck. The fact that there wasn't 3/4 inch, 7-inch action figures after season, I'll say 3, I'll be nice, season 3. And then you let Dark Horse have the property. Then you finally gave it to Funko, but it was like after season 7, it's like, dude, we should have a complete set of the original cast and of 1/6 scale figures, where this is your 1/6 scale figure audience. These are people, look at how much they go for online. I don't know about now, but like Jon Snow, they had a limited run. He's like almost $1,000, maybe more.
Wow. It's like, come on, man. George Lucas figured this shit out back in the 70s.
Dude, I was begging for toys. I was like, there's nothing. You know what there was? I had the comic store. I was so mad about this. Fucking magnets. I was in season 3. What? I was going through my Diamond account. Yeah. And all they had was fucking magnets for 3 seasons of fucking morons. So they're complaining about not having money. They're the fucking dumbest idiots.
Wow, that is so fucking stupid.
This is a spurg from like almost 10 years ago. Or 8 years ago, or 6. I remember like just being so frustrated. I'm like, I want to buy everything from the show, and there's just nothing. There's zero.
That's the thing, man. Die-hard fans. I don't understand why they couldn't figure that shit out. Die-hard fans, man. You put out the product, they will fucking buy it.
But they made whiskey. They made fucking whiskey. It's
what?
like, yeah.
Because they're so sophisticated.
Yeah, wine and whiskey, but no. I guess there's action figures now, but like, well, who wants a Night King action figure? He'll just
nobody fucking cares at this point. They ruined the show. Why would anyone buy it?
There's 3 people who are going to understand this joke, because nobody bought the action figures from Game of Thrones. But the way the Night King went out is very appropriate to how they made the action figures. They just fucking fell apart in your fucking hands. Dark Horse sucks so bad at, like, you'd move one arm and it would just break off.
What the
maybe that was actually accurate to the show.
You're looking at funny that falls apart. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, God. Are my Gma as my Gma says, and that's grandma, thin line between ego and insecurity. Lubella, there is none. There is none. They are one and the same. They are one and the same. You can tell there. I mean, there's actors who are completely comfortable in their skin, walk around, they're just fine, they're cool. And you could tell in the way they act and stuff. They're the more together ones they're the ones who quit after a while. They're like, I'm done. I think I'm done with acting.
Typically those people are the ones that have self-awareness. I think that's like one of the biggest issues that we're seeing, not just with like entertainment and society, is the complete lack of self-awareness.
Yep.
You know, and it's just becoming so fucking huge. That and narcissism.
Oh, narcissism is on the rise for sure.
Yeah, and narcissism and well, insecurity is almost at epidemic proportions in our country. I mean, just look at Twitter. I think it's pretty much what drives the anti-CG movement. I
think it drives a lot of things. I think that's where you get a lot of the projection from too, especially when you like reading articles from the Mary Sue and all the fucking shill media. There is so much projection of insecurity.
Yeah, the little dopamine rush you get.
Validation.
Yeah, the little dopamine rush you get, that teeny little dopamine rush that you can get by going to the gym every day and just walking on a treadmill for 20 minutes. But whatever.
It's a lot of work, Gary. That's a lot of work.
You got to drive there and park. I understand that, but and don't ever work out at home. It's just it never works.
No,
the machines break. They're expensive. Just join a gym. It's better to go somewhere. Make it a ritual. Fat Gandalf for $2. He doesn't want to work out because he's Gandalf. He could just do it. I mean, that's not even technically his body anyway. It's just a thing that he uses while he's in Middle Earth. Ron Moore needs to quit Apple and save Star Trek. I think we should kind of kidnap him at this point. What do you think? I mean, it's against the law, but it might be worth it. I'll make him very comfortable. I always thought Ron Moore looked like a little George Lucas anyway. Wasn't he? He's a little George Lucas like. He's got the, like the weak chin and the beard.
Right.
I think he's wow, I'll get crap for this. I think he's a much better writer than George Lucas. Much better writer.
I don't think that's really much of a stretch, honestly. Especially after the whole thing with the prequels.
Yeah.
Dude, you're right, man. Especially considering he put on some weight. He's definitely looking like George Lucas now.
Yeah, he's looking like George Lucas.
He's basically long-haired George Lucas.
Yep. Timon FLP for 5 rubles. The live action Dungeons and Dragons commercial arrived at YouTube. Even Tiamat appears. Oh, that's cool. It's in Portuguese though. Search for Renal Caverno de Dragaro. I mean, I'm not super in. Well, I'm not into Dungeons and Dragons at all. Although I don't like that D&D's Dan and Dave now and not Dungeons and Dragons. I think that should be Dungeons and Dragons. Much respect. I'm just saying respect. I like, but I just don't play it. Here, I'm gonna.
Well, it's kind of D&D. Dungeons and Dragons has kind of gotten to shit.
Wow. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I'll show you guys this. Here's the Dungeons and Dragons car commercial. You can't hear anything anyway, but I mean, like, it's animated and cool. You guys, you tell me, Dungeons and Dragons fans, if this is cool, okay? Because I can't be the judge. Here we go. So apparently, this is fan made.
This is fan made. Yeah, I saw a pic on Twitter, and it looked pretty good.
That's good.
I mean, they definitely captured the likeness of the characters.
I like the kids. That's adorable.
Where's the dice?
That was the cartoon, though. They were all kids.
Yeah,
I love that cartoon. I was there
same here.
For it. I didn't watch it.
It was great. Venger, dude. Venger was the best.
Yeah, that was. My parents hated it. They thought I was like devil worshipping or something.
There's Venger. Yes. Oh, that is great.
I'd watch
Venger
this movie.
Broken Horn.
There's the car. There it is.
That's from Dungeon Master.
Wow.
Oh, dude, that is great.
Get us out of here. It was like sliders of fantasy of
it
of
kinda
the
was,
D&D.
yeah. because they're trying to go home.
Oh, so
Trying to
they're playing the game and they're into the okay. I
No,
get
no.
it.
Okay, what happens is they go to the carnival, they get on the Dungeon Dragons ride, and it transports them to the world of D&D.
Okay,
Right.
and there's the carnival right there. So it's straight up based on the cartoon. That's great.
Yeah. Wow, dude, it actually kind of gave them a conclusion.
Oh, it's back at the carnival. Look at that.
Yes. Oh,
that's
wow.
cool.
They did their research.
Good job.
They were clearly fans of the show.
Very cool.
Oh, man.
Oh, now I want to watch a movie.
Seriously. And there's Uni.
Hey, by Renault. Renault actually did something cool.
Wow, man. And the kids wow, that was great. The kids that they actually cast, they look like the characters.
They look like them, yeah.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Bobby, wow, that's fucking fantastic.
What'd the chat think of that? You guys, very, very cool, says Hunter. That was pretty cool. I like that. Hail to the Popcast, Nerdrotic, and Comix Division. What's up, Bear Nerd Fun? I watched your video last night. Tiamat is not big enough.
You know what? There's certain things I'll forgive.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fan-made thing.
Yeah.
But is Tiamat supposed to be like huge or something? Or?
Well, yeah, Tiamat's the Queen of Hell.
Oh, okay. Well, I said,
she is the Queen of Dragons for sure. At least the chromatic dragons.
The one time we role played for character, I was creating characters for that comic book I did, and my friend JD role played me some powers to help me come up with some characters. He just shot out like, do you want this power? I'm like, no. And then yeah, that's good for the character. So like, that's all. I don't even understand what he was doing. So, the voice in my head.
Somebody was asking me, I think it was Bruce, who's asking, were you a role player?
A role player?
Yeah. Do you like D&D, role playing games, tabletop?
That's zip. Nada.
Did you ever play them?
What's the one game I played? It's not a role playing game. It starts with the C.
Catan.
Yeah.
So I like that game.
Yeah. Catan. Yeah, I was playing that a long time ago, but and my son was showing me how to play that. I get bored. I get bored of board games. I do. The voice in my head, Australian, $20. A better Game of Thrones ending instead of the Mad Queen, which has no setup. Well, yeah, they should have never done it. Danny calls all the lords to King's Landing to bend the knee after the battle. Sansa refuses, gets executed in front of Jon, which motivates him to kill Danny. That actually would have played out better. That would have played out a lot better. I
love PSA Sitch's hot takes on Game of Thrones. He really kind of does a great job. PSA Sitch.
I don't know.
He has a channel. He typically talks a lot about like politics and stuff, but he's also a pretty big fan of Game of Thrones. He talks about what should have been done. He talks about two scenarios: what he would have done with the episode to fix it, as well as how to properly fix it. But yeah,
they're okay. Not going to mention the guy's name because I like him and I don't call it other YouTubers. Other YouTubers are free to do whatever the hell they want without my judgment, but I can still like critique what they did. So if people understand that. So I'm not going to name this YouTuber because I have a lot of respect and blah, blah, blah. But this person was reviewing Game of Thrones and they said they had never watched it until like 3 months ago. So they binged the whole thing and then did a review. Now that'd be an interesting perspective, to watch it in the matter of a month and the narratives and all that really quick. But that's not the Game of Thrones experience at all. For one, you're not going to catch everything in a month. You're not going to catch shit. So you can still review it. Absolutely. You can give a review based on what I saw in a month. That's not the experience. The experience is the immersive experience where you watched it every week. You discussed it with other people. You listened to other people's podcasts for a week, or you talked about it around the water cooler. You talked about it with your friends. You're going to see the show completely different. And there's no way you could understand the disappointment at all. Period.
So that's a good question for you, Gary. I wanted to bring this up at some point anyways. Streaming versus weekly shows. Now everything seems to be coming to streaming binge watching. Just finished Cobra Kai season 2. I loved it. I binge watched it in 10 hours, but there's a part of me that misses the anticipation of waiting for the next one to come and talking about it with everybody. Now I feel like that and Lost in Space, it's like over. So how do you feel about that? And it's coming, it seems like.
Did Lost in Space season 2 come out?
Not yet,
No.
but like the
I don't know
idea
if I'm gonna watch it. No, I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate the binge model. I can't stand it.
I think a lot of it too is that it's here today, gone tomorrow. It's like, yeah, when you binge watch something, I think it doesn't give you time to really process the entire episode. And by the time you're done watching, you've forgotten about it.
I'm gonna dare say most people who binge watch end up fast forwarding a good 5 minutes per episode, maybe 3-4 minutes. People walking down a hallway and you're like, come on, just a little bit. And you might have missed something. I think, it's horrible for the shows. It's a Netflix model to jump on. They had a bunch of money to burn and they're like, we're going to do the one thing nobody's going to do. We're going to put out the binge model. Then Amazon decides to do it. And then everybody decides to do it. And then all of a sudden you are burning through hundreds of millions of dollars on something that is forgotten in 72 hours.
Right. Exactly. I don't understand how the model is successful.
It's not. You just took away the one advantage it had on film. Like the one single advantage that I was just explaining. Game of Thrones became the biggest show in the world because it was released weekly. It would have never been this big ever in a million years if it was dropped just all the seasons at once.
I think that model is going to change it. Hulu didn't start doing binge watching, did they? Because they were releasing stuff weekly, which I thought was pretty cool.
No, CBS All Access is really, unfortunately releasing stuff weekly. But they're doing it, and Amazon still. I've been tweeting. I tweet at Amazon like once a month, telling him to please release The Expanse weekly. Yes. They'll kill the show if they don't. That's simple as that.
Yeah, you need the buildup. You need the anticipation. You need people talking. I mean, who would give up 3 or 4 months of talking about your show? Why would you do that?
That's the thing I don't get. That's exactly the problem with the binge model is that Luke Cage, I know that Gary, you and I talked about this. It's like you had the possibility of people talking about this for 10 weeks, but no, it's here today. It's gone tomorrow.
They're listening to the wrong people. Most normies like binge. And that's who but they're listening to the wrong people on that one. The normies are not the people you need to listen to be honest with you. It's the hardcore fans. The normies, they'll come along. They'll allow us to help the normies along. It's really not your job. It's the hardcore fan and the people who, we're the ones who spread the word of mouth and the ones who read the books and spend way too much time on shit. Just let us do our job that you pay us nothing for. And it's fine because we like it. We like spreading good stories. What? YouTube sent notification 1 hour after live stream began. Go figure.
Hey, at least this time you do not have children's videos that are up next for suggestions. It's actually, stuff related to Game of Thrones.
Good. What's funny is I emailed them too, and I actually got a goddamn response. So that's the subscriber change.
Wow.
I got a response from a person with a name. I'm like, what? Okay. I just did it to do it, just to get. I was basically to get blow off steam. I never expected to hear back, but they said they would look into it, and I just and then I talked to the person again, and they're like, yeah, and they said it's a live stream thing. Basically, it's a lot.
That's bullshit. That is complete bullshit. Because that has happened to videos.
I didn't expect to get a response. So when I got a second one, I was just like, I'm just going to leave it at that. I might be pushing it, asking for a third thing.
Yeah. If you get a third one, you guys are friends officially. So you got to be careful.
I know. Yeah. I don't want to commit like that.
That's the thing, dude. You're getting close to that point where they have to respond to you. You're almost at 100,000.
Yeah. That's crazy. What was that? TK420. What's up, TK420? $4.99. Please say
incontinentious buttocks.
Incontinentia buttocks.
Incontinentia. It's for the biggest dickest thing, dude.
Biggest dickest. Yes. Yeah, I love that.
He has a wife, Incontinentious.
I'm looking over here because I have my 1/6 scale Monty Python figures that I need to put up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Sideshow. They're cheap. You can get them on eBay for pretty cheap. East Coast Sabers for $5. Either Aegon's conquest or seeing the first battle against the others. That's what we're getting. We're getting the long night. But who gives a shit? The Night King's an ice cube. Bring your ice pick and an Aria, and you're fine. Fucking the Assassin's Blade. That's all you needed. Of course, the assassin can somehow jump 16 feet in the air, and she's never done before, but then she didn't use all the other powers she gained because they were inconsistent because of boats and hoes. The thing that should not be $5. YouTube sent notification 1 hour after live stream began. The Germans had more notice than D-Day had begun. Keep up the good work.
Touche.
Wow. Oh man, tech guy, $2. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. Only actor in all 3 franchises, which was Predator, Alien, and Terminator. Yep,
dude.
that one stings. That one stings.
That one does sting.
Chief Cook, $4.99. Hey Gary, what the changes Halle Berry character? What changes the Halle Berry character in John Wick will get a spinoff? What are the chances? Probably pretty damn good. That's probably why they put her in there. That's probably why she worked out so hard.
Yeah, they were showing her doing some gun range footage, and she looked like a freaking pro, man.
Oh, that franchise can run forever if they wanted to. If they Keanu's a big part of it. So I don't know if it could last without him unless it goes to TV and then which they're talking about. But yeah, that's I think that might be the groundswell of like the return of like just really the kick-ass action movie, which is, man, remember when we had too many of them? We're like, God, there's so many goddamn action movies. They're just everywhere. And now it's just like, I really need an action movie. I need guns and bullets and noise. Johnny,
go boom.
Yep, Johnny Midnight, $5. There was a rumor of Disney buying Captain Marvel tickets to boost box office numbers. Now they can create fake ratings too with Rotten Tomatoes. Yep.
Yeah, I did 2 videos about the whole thing with the ghost seats.
So there were YouTubers out there, and I mean, it's honestly, if you weren't into this stuff or you haven't done business, you would ask this question. I understand it. Going, why would they do that? Why would they? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that.
Marketing budget.
Marvel Comics does something similar to comic shops every week. With the variants, they flood the market. They boost stuff. They overship comic books, which means they give away comic books for free to boost their numbers. That's very much like buying movie tickets to boost your numbers. Marvel is owned by Disney. So if as above, so below, my friend, they bought tickets to boost the numbers.
Yep.
John Kokoza, $10. I filmed diversity and equity seminars for corporate America in California. Oh my God, John, you should have a YouTube channel and edit that stuff together. You wouldn't believe the bullshit they want for workplace and companies. Same SJWBS infiltrating our beloved movies and TV. Man, if keep all your footage, chop it together, make a montage, put some Benny Hill music behind it. By the way, Tom Wolfinger did the destruction of King's Landing to Benny Hill music at my request, and it's funny as hell. And all it is Benny Hill music to the destruction of King's Landing, and the timing, some of the beats hit perfect. It's so good.
That's so
funny.
fucking perfect.
In my head right now. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll share the link. Hang on.
There's a few things I wanted to do very similar to something like that. Just that's fantastic. I need to start creating those random wacky videos like that.
Where'd you go, Tom Wolfinger? Where'd you go? Oh, dude, come on. Oh, maybe I just need to go to YouTube. Sometimes YouTube's just mean.
Yakety Sax. That's right. That's what it's called.
Yakety Sax?
Yakety Sax. That is the name of the song.
Oh,
Yakety
saxophone. I thought, never mind.
Not Yakety Snacks. Yakety Sax.
There it is. He's got 1,200 views on it. Right on. That's great. I shared it earlier, but here it goes in the chat, folks. It's pretty funny, especially when the people are on fire. I know that sounds terrible, but here we go. He sped it up a little bit, and it's great.
Oh no, you kind of have to.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you got to speed it up a little bit for the music to work.
I just keep looking at this, and I'm like, we gave up a fight with the dead and 3 dragons for 1 dragon just burning. Oh my god! Now watching the stuff in slow motion. Never mind. I'm just getting mad all over again. I really am. Fuck this fucking show.
Oh, here's a question for you. So since you're mad, let's keep it going a little bit.
Yeah.
So why do you think Bran ended up being the king? For real? Like, why did that happen? Because it didn't make any sense.
It simply happens in the book, and they just Dan and Dave could have made their own ending. George said it. Like they could have made their own ending, and they decided because they were done that they're just going to end it like George, and they had it in their heads that it was a good idea. But the Bran is going to be king in the books, at least for now. George could change that ending, and I probably would.
He should.
But I can see the journey. Well, otherwise, what the hell are we following Bran around for? I mean,
right.
Unless he becomes full on, unless he becomes like the wizard of the story,
right? Which is kind of what I was hoping.
I think he will, because Bran's an important character. They say that, they say it out loud. They're like, you're the most important thing in this story right now. But honestly, I never saw him sitting the throne. That was a complete surprise to me when I first read it in the spoilers. I'm like, what? And then in my head goes, well, okay, I could see it happening in the books. I could never see it happening in the show, especially when you skipped an entire season. He was so not important to you.
Right.
So,
yeah. I could see George twisting it so that Bran ended up there because we didn't see it coming, and that's kind of the way he works. But, they didn't pay off the character. You got this he's got this third eye. He's less human, his humanity's kind of gone. And, it just seemed a little bit, I don't know. They should have tied that together better. I thought it might have had maybe the fact they wanted somebody on the throne that obviously couldn't have children, that, to make it more democratic process. I don't know. He didn't even want to be the king. So I don't know. I just thought it was awfully similar to the way politics kind of are today, and maybe what people hope will happen.
And that's the whole thing was I've always expected that the political system would change at the end.
Right.
It would be very messy at the end, but that bittersweet ending we were supposed to get, I guess it's sweet that Jon Snow lived. He got completely screwed over. Okay. I can kind of see that, but, he would have fought before then. See, in Game of Thrones, he got the hero's journey, and then the coach benched him in the 4th quarter. Like right. he would say he was a quarterback. He had, I don't know, 10 touchdown passes. I mean, he was just, he got slightly injured right before halftime, and then the backup quarterback came back in. Then Melisandre came in and resurrected him. Then he came into the rest of the game, had a kick-ass 3rd quarter. Just an absolute kick-ass 3rd quarter, and then the coach benched him.
Right. Yeah.
So the cheerleaders could find it out. I mean, I don't fucking know. There's a million analogies for it. Sucked. It was stupid. It was bad. It was terrible. Dan and Dave, stay on your island. Don't come back. Don't touch Star Wars. Bob Iger's got to be pissed. I don't like him because he's a CEO, so I just naturally don't like him. But
yeah,
I got to sympathize for the billionaire that he probably just goes, they were the biggest name at the time. How can I not get anything right? Well,
and they did so good for a while.
SJWs.
Stop. Yeah, get rid of Kathleen Kennedy will be your first start, Bob. I know you're watching. You're in your hot tub, and there's like 6 girls in there with you.
She's got something on him because he can't get rid of her. I don't know what the deal is. He had a chance.
The way I have seen our franchises like just go over the top with the female empowerment, especially. So James Cameron, the fact that he hasn't been Me Too'd yet has been pretty shocking. So I'm pretty sure this is my opinion, that somebody's got some pictures of him and he's like, sure, I'll produce another Terminator, no problem. Yeah, I'll put my name on something I said I'd never put my name on again, no problem. Yeah. I
Somebody
gotcha.
knows where the dead hookers are buried.
Yep. Oh, that is what's going on right now. Why do you think they are just going so over the top?
Right.
Oh, it's because they're all guilty as F. That's why.
Dang.
Well, yeah, it's that whole thing with the male feminist mentality. They're guilty of something.
Oh God,
it always comes out. It seems like every day that another male feminist is being outed for bad touching somebody.
I remember hearing stuff about Cameron like way before this stuff happened. He was a famous dictator on set, complete asshole on set, treated women like crap, went through wives like Elizabeth Taylor went through husbands. I mean,
right.
It was just known. So he didn't do anything. Come on. Or he might have just been a jerk. I don't know. It's okay to be a jerk, by the way.
Because you're a jerk doesn't mean you've, sexually harassed or assaulted someone.
No. But I heard other things than that.
Okay, well, there you
go. Listen. When you have that much power, and it's not questioned, it wasn't until very recently. It can make monsters out of a lot of people, I bet. Mm-hmm. But the worst I heard from him is he was a complete asshole on set, like just total dick.
I've always said that basically, famous people stop being human at some point. And a lot of it is because you start losing touch with reality, like, paying your mortgage and, dealing with people, and when you start getting all the yes men and hearing you're so great, and you really start believing all the hype, and you don't have anyone there to really hold you accountable to anything. That's why, having a boss kind of grounds you, because you're held accountable.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. All of Hollywood.
Agreed.
Musicians.
The last super chat I read was so Disney. I don't know where Disney was buying Captain Marvel tickets. I'm convinced.
Oh no, they absolutely were. It's not. This is not something new.
Well, they can afford to. So even whether they did or they didn't, the point is that if they didn't, they should have or they could have, because it didn't. They have so much money.
Well, how it works out is it comes out of their marketing budget.
Yeah.
Right. That magic, mysterious marketing number that nobody ever really gets.
Nobody gets. Yep.
And depending on how much they're getting back from the theaters, and I've heard 50, I've heard closer to 95% of the box office gross. And if they really are getting 95% of the box office gross, then they're not losing anything, really.
Right.
But like I said, that number, it could be inflated. It could be 50%. I have no idea. I just know it's part of the reason why it costs $16 for a fucking cup of soda.
Did you guys already talk about Terminator? We did. You can rewind the episode. I can't believe it still looks this bad, even with James Cameron involved. Well, he's lightly involved. I mean,
he's a producer. He's not the director.
Yeah. But Tim Miller's a good director, but maybe not. We'll see.
Well, I don't think Tim Miller has control necessarily over the script. Just because he's a good director doesn't necessarily mean
he's pretty responsible for this.
Is he?
I can't. He directed it. He has all the control over the script, like 100%.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man.
Tim Miller. Sorry, I can't defend this one. He's on his own. Sorry, buddy. That movie is gonna bomb.
No,
it's gonna freaking bomb.
The writers, James Cameron, story by, and it says Charles E. Eagley, and I guess there's like 6 more. But apparently, this is written by Cameron.
There you go. Then it's gonna. I still think it's gonna bomb. He's done bombs before. He's written stuff and produced stuff that's bombed.
Yeah.
If he directed it, it'd be a different story.
I don't think Cameron's all that great, to be honest with you.
No, Avatar sucked. I hated it.
The only Cameron movie I really, really like is actually Aliens.
Oh no. Well, I like Abyss. I like Aliens, The
Did he do Abyss?
Abyss. I like the original Terminator, Terminator 2. I love the original Terminator.
I like Terminator 2, but I like Aliens more than Terminator 2.
But I like the Abyss. I'm trying to think. I like True Lies, even though it's silly.
Yeah, you like
And,
Titanic, of course.
I like Titanic. I did. For a technical achievement. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but Avatar was just a really pretty, like boring. I mean, just like really terrible movie. It
No,
was
you're
so
right.
terrible.
No, it was
Yeah,
terrible.
no, it was
yeah.
absolutely terrible.
It was just groundbreaking. That's why it did what
Yeah.
it did.
Mm-hmm.
Like people get.
He wrote the Abyss. Okay.
Yeah. Oh man, but it's some of the cringiest dialogue I've ever heard is in Avatar. It's just bad. Rakis Wolfstar for $5. Can we start a petition for Elon Musk to buy all of our favorite IPs and then hold a public competition to find the best writing team?
That's funny that somebody mentions that. That's like one of the things I was thinking about the other day when I was driving home. Is that it seems like when you get rid of competition, which is kind of obvious, right? You would think in this day and age this would be obvious, but apparently it's not. Competition drives innovation, and it drives a lot of good ideas. There is a point where competition can be abused, but I think that's like one of the big problems that we're facing these days is the complete lack of competition.
Oh yeah, we're getting a diluted. It's all fucking diluted. And what did you just say earlier, Shane? How many of the top movies were owned by or distributed by Disney?
14 of the 17 top grossing movies domestically are owned by Disney.
Yep.
So
that's your problem.
Yeah.
Michael DeSorcy for $10. Thank you for the $10. Gary, I love your channel and your spin-free reviews, particularly with Star Trek and Doctor Who. Thank you very much. I got another Doctor Who video coming out, but like nobody gives a shit about Doctor Who anymore. Man, it is just dead. It is deader than dead. I was talking on a podcast the other day with Dr. Freedom. Somebody who probably generally it was kind of odd. I was asked on and nobody told me who was going to be on. And then I was like, Dr. Freedom. I'm like, that guy doesn't like me. Yeah, so he was cordial, but we had a little. The only debate we had is he didn't think Doctor Who was dead, and I'm like, brother, it's dead. Yeah. It's dead. It is like nobody even cares enough to get mad anymore.
Yeah, like those apathy has set in.
That's it. That's it. I would put out a Doctor Who video, and it would just boom. It would get 50,000 views in a few days. It barely cracks 25 now.
Bring back Matt Smith, and we'll get it going again.
Yeah, bring back Matt Smith or cast Richard Madden. Stop with your freaking game that you're playing now and your little political agenda. You have a chance that of course we're getting the next season. Nobody's gonna watch. It's gonna be hilarious. I
didn't realize they did a whole the futurist female thing with Capaldi.
Oh, right towards the end. Yeah, they were telegraphing it. Yeah, Moffat did something too. His writing changed like overnight. Like he stopped writing like Moffat. Like something happened. Something behind the scenes happened. I don't know what, but yeah,
they got me too. Or
I'm telling you,
they know where the dead hookers are buried.
Yeah. So I hit your channel daily for the latest and greatest. Sent you some stuff on Facebook a while back. Keep it up. Thank you. Hey, send it to me. Try not to send me stuff on Facebook. It's just impossible for me to catch all that stuff because there's 3 different places that people are sending me messages on Facebook.
And Facebook is shit.
No way humanly possible I can reach it. Gary at nerderotic.com. So I hate for you to send it twice. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm going to have to actually probably shut the DMs down on Facebook because it's just, I can't do Facebook and Twitter. I can do Twitter, no problem. But I just can't. I'm trying and it's just end up piling up on me, and I'd rather respond to you than not respond. So please, Gary at nerderotic.com. Wasam Kayam for $5. Are you a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Yes. The cartoon? Yes, very much so. If so, who is your favorite character and why? I'm so excited for the Netflix show coming up. I'm excited for the Netflix show. Is it live action or is it I heard about it. Hang on a second. I'm going to look it up. I haven't heard any news. Has anybody heard?
No, I haven't.
Looks like it's going to be live action.
It's live action.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point since they're doing a live action Cowboy Bebop.
They're doing a live action cowboy, but that might work though. A lot of people have been asking for that.
No, man. I disagree. I don't think it will work.
It depends. Well, I mean, you're the anime fan. I don't care. So I just know that a lot of people said there's so many things out there that was like Cowboy Bebop that I'd be at my comic store and they're all, that comic's like Cowboy Bebop and that thing's like Cowboy Bebop and that thing's like Cowboy Bebop. It just sounds like something I would like, but honestly, I sold action figures. That's the most I know about it.
Fucking awesome, man.
Looks like it's the first half of 2020. Probably it's going to be coming out for the Last Airbender.
2020. Okay, so they must be getting close to being in production.
Yeah, they cast John Cho as Spike Spiegel, and I like John Cho, but he's new as Spike Spiegel.
You can reach over and grab see, these are really cheap and good. These things right here. I sold the crap out of these things at my comic shop. They're amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I dig it a lot. Let's get to the next super chat. I just dropped something though. Whoops. Sorry. Okay, so what was the second part of that question? Who was my favorite character and why? Zuko Redemption. Is that Wasam? I'm a sucker for redemption stories. Period. Although everybody knew he was good. Texas-based podcast here. Love the channel. Bill Hicks would be mocking all of this stuff relentlessly if he was still around. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Constructive Criticism, for $4.99. He would.
Him and Street Brain. Never mind.
If Sam Kinison was still around, too.
Oh, God, Sam Kinison. Oh,
I got a weird story later about
George Carlin.
George Carlin was seeing some of this stuff happening before he died, by the way.
Yeah.
Does anybody know about the weird death of Sam? I mean, we know he got killed, drunk driver and all that. Do you know about his last words?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. It's
been a while, but I do remember saying something.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. I'll get to that in a second. It's verified. It's not some story. These were his last words while he was dying. He was alive and he had internal injuries, but out on the outside, he looked fine. And they were telling him to lay down. Great show tonight, guys. Love everything you do. It's great to nerdrotic out with you tonight. I'm sad to think that the Picard show will be ruined by CBS. Love your parody video of it, by the way. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I wasn't sure. Thanks. Share it. It's probably not going to get a ton of views, but that's fine. I don't care. I had fun.
See you without your glasses on. That was nice.
Yeah, that's rare. I know. I was like, oh man, you can see how old I am. Jeff McKelvey, thank you for the $10 and thank you again for the Orville, buddy. Thank you. Yeah. Conrad Gonzalez, $5. What happened with Hush? What happened with Hush, Conrad? So Hush was originally supposed to be 6 issues. It was supposed to be 6 issues, and it was supposed to be Jason Todd, and they backed off. Bunch of people freaked out that Jason Todd was dead. He's supposed to stay dead. People voted for him to stay dead, and they don't bring him back, and they don't do it, and they decided to extend it out, and then they made it They
made him the Red Hood.
The Red Hood later. But I forgot Hush was God, I'm blanking. It was like the Doctor, whatever. But I had my store for like a year, and honestly, at the time, comics were selling pretty good, but Batman Hush was the only like best seller. So it was kind of a quiet time for comics. It was post 9/11. Things were kind of dark and very street. There wasn't a lot of cosmic books out at the time. And yeah, Hush was like guaranteed money. It was so good, but people were pissed off at the end. It's still funny. They didn't want Jason Todd back, so they changed it, and they still hated the end. So there you go. I thought the art was, I'm not the biggest Jim Lee fan in the world. I know, sacrilege, but I'm not. I'm just not. Never have been. I'm a Todd E.M. fan. I like Todd McFarlane. I think he's way better.
Yeah. Well, I'll hands down, I'll agree with you on that. I do like Jim Lee, but I do agree that McFarlane is way better.
Thank you, Conrad Gonzalez. Good question. This is the everybody gets a trophy for participating generation coming back to bite us right in the balls, Mark C.
It's so fucking
Ooh, yeah.
Yep. Daycare generation.
Going back to the whole thing with competition.
Lonnie Honeycomb, $2. Hey, I just sent you an email to all you guys. Okay, I will check it after the show. Again, I do not mean to sound like a dick on this. It's my attention span. I can't check messages and stuff during the show, but I will check it directly after. But thank you for sending me the email, and I will check it, and I will look for Lonnie Holcomb. I appreciate it. Connor Moore, $14.99. Am I alone in wanting to boycott Star Wars trilogy given to D&D? No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people just want to boycott Star Wars altogether.
Yeah.
And I think some people will. And who would blame them? I wouldn't listen right now. I wouldn't give Disney a cent, not a cent, not the way they've been treating fans. And it'll be very easy. It'll be extremely easy. I don't care. Like if Solo 2 came out, I wouldn't even review it for the channel. I don't give a fuck. I so don't give a I'll review episode 9. And maybe the Mandalorians, but it sounds the Mandalorians look great and everything, and it just does not excite me in the least bit. I get nothing. You know what excited me was the scene 38 redo on YouTube. That got me fired up. That was like, oh. And Star Wars Theories video,
the Darth Vader one,
although he kind of sold out, but whatever. That's what he wanted to do. On general principle, honestly, like unless he gets a job at Disney, I don't know what that does for you. If he would have spent that much time on his own thing, you know how much money that kid would have right now? Not just a job at Disney. He wouldn't need a job.
I think that's okay. So coming up with your own stuff is hard. And I think that's probably the reason why, a lot of fandoms, do fan films is because they love it so much.
I think he limited himself.
But no, I will agree with you. With you. But I think part of the issue is that, coming up with your own world and your own story, it's not easy.
No.
Especially when that's
why you make a lot of money when you're good at it.
Yeah.
That's true.
But he's good at it, and he just stopped. What he did is he already came up with the great concept. He's got the technical skill, and he just used it on somebody else's property, and and that was a lot of money and for attention, and he didn't even get a gig out of it. I mean, it's like, it's cool. I'm glad he did it. But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, look at all the Star Trek fan stuff that's been done.
Oh, I love it. I enjoy the hell out of it. I just can't get my head around. I would never do that. Never.
The Axanar stuff too, all that. They do it because of the love of the franchise.
Yeah. I'll financially support it, but I could personally never do that. Somebody we talked yesterday, and I will back this like with shouting it out. An audio drama. Not just remaking. I would redo all of Game of Thrones. I want a Game of Thrones audio drama, or just base it on the books.
That would be cool. We need somebody to produce it. I'll do my voice on that one.
Fuck yeah, we can get tons of voices. We get people behind this. George would hate the idea because it's a fan project. Yeah. So he'll say nay. But like, I think people would. I think now that the show's over, we might get one. I think that I guarantee you there was a deal that HBO had that you couldn't come out with anything Game of Thrones while they were running it. But now that it's done, we could probably get an audio drama. That'd be great. I can't believe they haven't done one, honestly.
Yeah, there's a couple companies out there who do pretty good ones. If there's any crazy people out there, I know somebody's doing an audio drama for the Orville sci-fi source, I think. But if there's a crazy person out there, that would be a cool project to get involved with.
Big Finish could do it from Doctor Who. They're easy. I mean, well, they're relatively cheap to produce. You just get some actors. For Game of Thrones, it would take a while, but it's a couple hours a voice session a day, and they get a ton of work done.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all editing after that. And Big Finish from Doctor Who could do it. If anybody could do it, they could do it. Or yeah, not the BBC. Never mind. That almost came out of my mouth. Slap. On general principle, I refuse to give another dime or a second of my life to those poop dicks. Thank you for the great content. Yeah, don't, Connor. Don't.
Boop.
Don't
That's
give
awesome.
people money who don't respect you. As Doomcock's hashtag, without respect, we reject.
Yeah.
Dr. Venkman, $2. Rotten Tomatoes update. Did you see it? Yes, we just talked about it. Thank you, sir, for the $2. Two good shows, Gary. The Last Kingdom and also The Terror. Ooh, I haven't heard of The Terror. I'm going to check out Last Kingdom. 99 Iron Duke. I know you're on me about that one. Australian $5. Chaos 7 Canadian. Thank you for the $5. Chaos 7 Canadian $5. Speaking of action figures, go watch Game of Thrones action figures by Flash Gits. I'd like to see your reaction. By Flash Glitz. Are they one of those cutesy pie ones? I hate those action figures. Those aren't action figures, by the way. Action figures by Flash Glitz. It's a channel. Okay. I thought that was a brand. I didn't know it was a channel. Game of Thrones sucks.
Yeah. So Philip A. Dimick is asking, have we seen the Kenobi fan film? It's better than the Disney script they're working on.
That's the scene 38.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. That's not the redo of the fight, right?
Yeah, scene 38.
Okay, that's it.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Flash Glitz. I've never heard of that channel. That shows you how big YouTube is. They have like 1.8 million subscribers, and it's never flown across my radar at all.
Wow.
Yeah, YouTube's a big place. Awesome job on your YouTube channel. I recommend everyone watch Godzilla King of Monsters. Got my tickets for next Thursday. Feldo for $20. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Even if you are not a fan, the movie looks very promising. It will probably make you forget about the letdowns of this year. That would have to be pretty astonishing for me to forget that stuff. But yeah, I was watching the trailer today with Nerdrotic Jr. After we picked him. We were waiting for the street cleaner to come by, sitting in the car watching. I wanted to show him the 2014 I Have Become Death trailer because I think that's seriously one of the best trailers ever made. And yeah, we watched all of it. The first movie, I got to say, I just thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. It kind of disappointed me a little bit. I thought it would be much, much better. But I heard this one's great. But the first one was like good. I gave it a solid like 7 out of 10. Madeline Thornley for $10. So apparently we may be getting a Game of Thrones inspired Dark Souls like game from the studio that made the original trilogy. Here's hoping they wait until Winds of Winter is released. We're getting the prequel, Madeline, that's called Blood Moon right now, but it's only a pilot. They're only shooting a pilot this year. So chances are there's no there's no prequel until 2021. That's my guess. We're not getting it next year. Why did GRR give D&D only writer to produce game Idalos for Canadian $2.79? Why did George give D&D only writer and producer on Game of Thrones? Why are they the only ones? Because they succeeded so well at first that they just felt like they needed to stick with what got them there. And in hindsight, they're going to regret that decision.
Oh, probably. We can only hope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like season 7, all the signs were there. Like every single sign was there, and you had 2 years. And then it certainly looks like to me they took a break. They took a 1-year break and then started working on that. That was not 2 years worth of work. You cannot be telling me that for 6 episodes, which, listen, the only episode that had a spectacle was about 15 minutes of the last episode and the entire Long Night one, which was all I couldn't see shit. And I had a 4K TV.
And nobody could see anything on that
Yeah.
one.
Well, that's how you hide how bad your show is, by making it so dark nobody could actually watch it.
Yeah, but it's your fault it was dark, not their fault, remember?
Oh yeah, because it's your TV's fault.
Yeah.
Adjust the tint.
Why take responsibility when you can blame technology?
The better one I heard was get an 80-inch TV. Oh, okay.
What?
Sure, I'll just go
off.
get an 80-inch TV. Okay.
I have a 72-inch TV and it still looked like crap. Oh, but that wasn't because of the quality. It was just the bad writing and the fact that the episode sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, those fucking idiots.
Fantasy Freak for Australian $5. Star Trek timeline. Kelvin is for anything 25% different. Don't try telling me STD or Picard is prime. STD or Picard is prime. Kelvin is not for the Kelvin is where James Kirk and Spock are. That's their timeline. So the prime Spock was outside of that timeline, which is a different timeline. It's split off. So the minute Romulus went and Spock went through the black hole, he ceased being original canon Spock, and he became he was in the Kelvin timeline. Then there's a prime timeline. There is no the old show that ended with Enterprise is done. That's a done timeline. It's
that's the original.
Doesn't exist
timeline.
anymore.
That's
the original
even
canon. It's not prime. It's not anything. It's done. The one they're alluding to now, the one that Discovery is in, and the one that the new Spock is in, but go watch the Midnight's Edge video. I mean, if you don't want to believe it, okay. I mean, you don't have to. Don't worry. It's nothing to get upset about. But it's prime because that's what they called it. That's what Kurtzman calls it. That's what everybody's calling it. They're calling it prime. That's their name. They made it up. I didn't make that up. That's their name. Go look it up. Go look that's what they call it. Why would they call it prime? Why not just call it canon? Because they have to. Yeah. Sorry. I don't make the rules, man. I just report it. And plus, I've been speaking to people again, like I'm not making this shit up. I'm speaking to people who work at CBS. They fucking work there. So if you want to be in denial because you're such a fan of the show, okay. Well, a lot of Game of Thrones fans are dealing with that right now. Go ahead. That's fine. Yeah. Vesna Voinovich Kovic for $2. No praise for episode 6 Ghost Pat. Pre-planned, so fans forgive. I had to go back and I kind of compare it to another shot because there's another shot that's very Vesna. There's a shot that's very similar. It's at night though, so that's pretty far-fetched to think that they would throw that in late. But they had enough time. They certainly had enough time. But I knew he was going back up north, so I figured he might see ghosts. Oh, because I can tell you all now. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen because I read the spoilers. I just didn't talk about it. I knew Bran was going to be the king. I knew Sansa was going to be the king of the North. I knew Jon was going to kill Daenerys and go to the Wall. What didn't I know? What happened that surprised me? And nothing else. Oh, Tyrion lived. The spoiler said Tyrion was going to die by execution. So I was surprised to see him live. And I was surprised that Bronn was Master of Coin.
I think everybody was surprised that Braun was even on the little council.
Right?
Yeah.
Matthias Hernandino for $10. Has there ever been a bigger collapse of a franchise in pop culture history? Say goodbye to the sequels and prequels. No Game of Thrones universe now. Even the normies hate the ending. Yep. And like I said in my video, the HBO CEO sounds like it's very wait and see with the prequels.
Yeah.
Jacob King.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Yeah. Jacob King, chances of Why the Last Man being ruined by SJWs. Pretty good. I think it got shelved. I don't think it's coming out.
Yeah, I had to look that one up. I haven't seen. I haven't seen.
I'll look it up. I know it got optioned. That's the comic. That's the comic book. Peter Jackson came in and bought all the volumes I had in my comic store. Ordered a series. Oh, it's ordered a series at FX.
I want to say I was talking about this with a friend last weekend because I know we're talking about Hayden Christensen.
Oh, okay. Here it goes. February 4th, 2019, Why the Last Man, ordered to series at FX Hollywood Reporter. April 15th, 2019, Why the Last Man series no longer coming to FX. What happened in between those two times? Disney bought Fox. FX belongs to Fox. So it's not happening. Seen Game of Thrones season 8 pitch meeting. Yes, Mikhail Johannesson. Thank you for the 20 Danish crowns. It's hilarious. It's great. Spot on. Perfect. 99 Iron Duke, Australian $5. HBO should bring back Rome. Yes.
Oh, that was a great show. But
yes.
The problem is they will just fucking ruin it at this point. If we weren't in the middle of this pendulum swing, I'm gonna say, yes, I would say bring it back. But right now, at this point in time, we do not want that show to be brought back because they're just gonna fucking SJW it up and ruin it.
What, Rome? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they would do. It'd be fucking hilarious. You know what? Rome is like one of those ones you can go back and visit. I mean, it's only 2 seasons, but it's got great rewatchability. Yeah, it certainly does.
That was a good show.
Yeah, a lot of things wouldn't fly these days. Quick Mix.
And Iron Duke, I read your super chat. I just hadn't got to it yet. Choco Bear MMA $5. Just got back from Aladdin. Started off good, then ended poorly. To me, all I can say is Jasmine's character arc. What the hell? Much respect. Okay, cool. I will never see that movie. I will not accidentally watch it. I will not watch it on Netflix. I will not fucking pay him. I won't spend a minute of my life watching a remake of a Disney animated film. I can't think of a worse way to waste time.
You mean you're not going to watch Lion King when it comes out?
No.
I'm not going to watch Aladdin.
Newsflash. I hate Disney. I've always hated Disney. I'm not their cartoons sucked. I'm a Warner Brothers kid. I'm not part of the 90s generation. So I was in my 20s when these little cartoons came out, and I liked Aladdin because it had Robin Williams. I thought that was good.
Yeah, Aladdin's like the only one I really like.
But I've never been a Disney fan. Ever. And I'm glad you guys like it. I think remaking animated things, especially when it's CG, is like, I mean,
it's like, oh, we're making it live action, but it's CG.
Yeah.
How is that live action?
Yeah, I mean, if it speaks,
Cats is live action.
Yeah, there you go. Pixar, fucking Toy Story's live action.
Ooh,
there you go. I like Pixar movies a lot. But no, I can understand it's part of your childhood, part of your nostalgia, and I get it. And that's why Star Wars is big, is because my generation, it was our childhood and it carried on, which is great. But I was thinking about, like, I don't even want to see the trailers. I haven't seen the trailers. I don't want to see a second of it. It's just like, ugh. Red Monarch for $5. Frack Star Wars, no Jedi or Sith after episode 9. Is that what they're doing?
really?
They're getting rid of the Jedi and the Sith. What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing.
Isn't that the only interesting thing after the Skywalkers?
Yeah,
That is Star Wars.
Yeah, I think I don't know. My conspiracy theory is that they're going to call the new Jedi Skywalkers, and it's like if my God, if they fucking do that, it's the stupidest thing.
Is that why it's Rise of the Skywalkers?
That's my theory.
I've heard that from somewhere before. I mean, I can't remember what I said. It's either Rey or it's a movement. Somebody was talking about it being a movement. Oh, either way, it's if those spoilers that are out there are correct, it's dumb. It's like Game of Thrones season 8 dumb.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really, really bad. And I'm sorry for Star Wars fans.
I think Bunning and Comics did an article on it. Because I remember reading that too. That the idea, the rise, one of the theory, the theories floating around is that they broadcast Luke's last message, and
yep.
That's,
well, I don't know if we want to say the spoilers here.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
my bad, folks. My bad.
Yeah. They're out there though. But it's like really something like. Honestly, you can go. Doomcock's done a video on it.
Maybe it was Doomcock's video. I'm thinking.
Yeah, and he gives you a fair warning, but like honestly, you want to know. Just go there right now, because if it's wrong, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Then the movie didn't get ruined. But if he's right, then you don't need to go to the movie. It's super bad.
It's driving an iron spike through your ear, stupid.
Yeah, it's fucking bad. Great content. Adding one more sub to your account. Oh, brilliant. I don't usually ask, except for the end of all my videos, but it's very flippant. It's like, share, subscribe if you want. But I'm super close to 100,000. So if you could consider subscribing, it's just a click, a like, please. It gets me, very selfish reasons. It gets me closer to a vacation. So that I'm going to take. But if not, I understand. It's totally cool. It's a commitment. It is a commitment to click and then get like my notifications. I do 3 live streams a week.
I don't get your notifications at all.
Yeah, most people don't. So it probably wouldn't even bother you that much, to be honest with you. There you go. And then I try to do a video a day or more, but generally it's a video. Jacob King, $9.99. I'm sad to hear Why the Last Man got shelved, but at least it won't be ruined. Yeah, Jacob. It's much better. You have the source material. We don't need to see our source material adapted anymore. I think we just need to stop pining for that. I think the MCU is as good as it's going to get as far as comic books, and they didn't even get it close to right. It was successful, but they didn't get close to right. We were missing Spider-Man for most of that. There's no Fantastic Four. There's no X-Men. For fuck's sake, there's no supernatural superheroes anywhere. Daredevil wasn't there, and they own everything.
Yeah, and
they still couldn't get their shit together. So we'll never see it. Never. And it's just, read the comics. They're better. And they're cheaper. The old ones are anyway.
Yeah.
Just came back from watching Brightburn. Oh, John Carpenter style Superman. Decent, well done. Glimmer of hope for geeks in need of an IP. Glimmer of hope. Well, decent. Ben, tell me in the chat, give me a grade. Give me 7 out of 10. What are the flaws? If you're still here, put it in the chat. I want to hear. No spoilers, of course. Well, whatever. I'm not telling you what to say. Stun Soul, $2. Kylo and Rey have dark plus light baby Skywalker.
Dark plus light.
So it does turn into fucking Twilight at the end. Mr. Danny, I saw more captivating story writing from fan fiction theories written by illiterate 12-year-olds on Reddit. The YouTube comment section than what D&D wrote for Game of Thrones finale. Shame, shame, shame. I have seen better ideas on Reddit and in my comment section than they produced, for sure. Without a doubt, Mr. Danny. Nicholas Glenn, $4.99. Have you heard the theory that Rey is Shmi Skywalker, Anakin's mother, and that they are doing a time travel in Star Wars?
Shut up, Nicholas. No, stop.
Oh, that's great.
That's the best.
Because at this point, I wouldn't put it past them.
I heard some pretty crazy theories, and it's pretty clear, guys. Dude, they were talking about time loops and bringing back Darth Vader. I heard all kinds of crazy shit. And then you have to come to reality, and that this is J.J. Abrams.
That's true.
Tell me one original idea that guy's had. One film that's in a narrative that was original that hasn't been pined from something else.
Okay, I got one for you. You ready?
Ready.
Super 8.
Super 8 was not original at all. That was a Spielberg movie. Yes. He did
with the camera.
It was they made it worse than the Goonies, that's for sure. Yeah, Super 8. Super 8 was supposed to change the world. Remember that?
Right, I do.
It was going to be like, oh my God, the hype for that fucking movie. Comics. Dude. I was in a comic store, so it's like all about hype in there anyway. But like all people could talk about was fucking Super 8 for a fucking year. And I'm like, man, this better be the greatest movie of all time. And like, I'm like, I can barely remember it. The Alien.
I never watched it. I remember seeing
Alien
the trailers.
Was trapped, and like the alien, it turned out like we were the dicks and not the alien, but the alien still killed a bunch of people and nobody fucking cared.
Right. Yeah. That was...
I don't know. Did it come out like very similar to around the same time as Cloverfield?
Maybe.
Just before. It would have been before Cloverfield.
Just before? Okay. Because it seems like it came around, or at least the trailer was out around that time. And I don't know, because it seemed like those two movies just kind of blended together for me.
Well, honestly, when I saw Stranger Things, I thought like somebody did a Super 8 TV series.
Right. Yeah, it's got that feel for sure.
Yep. And Stranger Things season 1 was great and season 2 wasn't, but yeah, you know what? Shmi Skywalker. Yes. They need to, there's not enough women in Star Wars, so they need to add another one. Yeah.
And then you find out that Emperor Palpatine knocked up Shmi Skywalker using the Force.
Well, he's in the trailer.
This is the comic book, folks, so it's canon.
Listen, judging from what the reaction I saw for the trailer at both screenings of Endgame, one was silence and one was booze.
Yeah, my theater was silence. There was no clapping. There was no nothing. It was just like.
Well, here's a prediction. We're going to see fucking Darth Vader before the end of the year. Like, that's the only thing that would bring people back at this point. Unless Luke is going to be in 90% of the movie. Like, he becomes corporeal again and, like, straight up battles the Emperor for half an hour.
He had to take a shit, so that he just teleported himself to the shitter, I guess. I don't know.
Apparently he's barely in the movie. So, I mean, again, I hate to crush people's hope. Oh crap! I just unplugged my headphones. But yeah, that's kind of, that's why we got to watch The Expanse.
How are you crushing people's hope? Disney already did it for us.
They kind of did.
Yeah, but you got Galaxy's Edge, so you can always do that.
Oh God, that's the other thing too, is that they're going to shoehorn that fucking planet in too, I bet.
Oh God, they are.
No, of course they are.
I don't think I'll ever go to Disneyland again. The crowds are going to be stupid. They were already stupid already. There used to be days where you like, God, this, you're from SoCal. So I grew up in SoCal. So there used to be like February, in the middle of February, you could go to Disneyland and kind of have the place to yourself, or it'd be light crowd. It'd be fine. And you'd be able to get on everything like 2 or 3 times, have a great time. That's never happening now, ever again. Mm-hmm. They have no room to grow. It already costs like $1,000 to, fuck that. No way.
Yeah, their prices went way up again this year. They went up by like 20%, the biggest price hike ever. We went back in November, and they said it was the biggest November that they've ever had, and it just keeps getting worse and worse every year. So,
well, I've heard they had like managed things with apps now. It's like you have the digital line, so you can go put in your order to get in line, and then your phone will buzz you when you're ready to show up.
And you got to pay an extra $20 a person for that. So it's more to do
that. The park's going to start selling out regularly. That's the next step. I'm surprised that I was there at a day that happened. It was during a Lutheran church convention in 1985, and they used to rent the park out to groups. Mm-hmm. So they rented it out to the Lutherans. And there's a fucking lot of Lutherans in Anaheim and Orange County, believe me. So they were all there, and at the park that day, and this was in the 80s, okay, so it was a much smaller park. They had 65,000 people in that park.
Wow.
So it was packed.
Yeah.
with a bunch of blonde white kids and running around and little towheads running around. Yeah, it was freaking just packed, and they shut down the park. They wouldn't even let down, like, the people who rented, like, they rented out for Lutherans are like, we can't let any more people in. That's it. So there is a cap. And they must keep like really good track of it or something. Cause I'm surprised there hasn't been like, the park sold out that day. That's going to start happening. They're going to have to. I mean, what are you going to do?
That
they
was
can't,
the anniversary.
No, they'll just make the parks bigger, man. Look at the,
where they can't grow much further
can't.
there. Yeah.
In order to do Galaxy's Edge, they had to get rid of like an employee parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to fit it in. And if you take a look at the overview, there's nowhere to go. They're going to have to buy property, and nobody's going to sell it because it's so valuable on the outskirts of Disneyland right now. Those little hotels and stuff, they won't sell.
Convention center, maybe.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Yep. I like that crappy convention center. I
Disney,
like it.
They have more money than God. At this point, they'll just start slapping people with money until they submit.
I guess they could. Yeah, you're right.
Tito George, thank you for the $2. He said apparently YouTube needs to throttle your notifications. God, I don't want to. I'm a little mad at them for what they did to Tyler, secure team, taking away his money like that without. I mean, like, Tyler. Not that you're going to listen to me because you have millions, dude. Get a website. Like, you got 1 million subscribers. You could have your own website. You would not have to worry about anybody right now. You could still maintain both. Just make it a mirror. That's what I do. But that way, like, your hardcore fans will follow you over there no matter what. And you could just, dude, you can just make a membership thing right there. It's easy. PayPal set up. Like, honestly, you don't need Patreon or anything. There's a function on PayPal for subscription. Then all you have to do is put that on your website, and you share the. I mean, that's all Patreon. That's all it does. So you just you pass out links to people who are your members. You just ask them not to share it, and some do, some don't, whatever. But and yeah, it's pretty easy. But yeah, that was the bummer. But it's been pretty good around these parts, Tito. So I ain't gonna complain too much. Not too much. I'm glad you're here. Did you just get my notification? Okay. We got through the super chats. Let's get to the chat for a little bit here, and then we're gonna let these poor guys go because we've been going for 3 hours. It just flies.
Holy
It
crap,
just
dude,
flies.
I had no idea it was 12:30.
Yeah.
No, we're just having fun. It's all good.
Yeah. Let's get into the chat here. Alex Jones, according to Rogan interview, deplatforming killed Alex Jones, according to Rogan interview. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to show it on the site, but I'm pretty sure his website's doing just fine.
That was the best interview ever. The craziest interview I've ever seen on the Joe Rogan show. It was like utter insanity. If you ever watch something, you want to watch something for 2 hours, it's completely insane. That is the interview to watch.
I think getting deplatformed off of YouTube was probably the best thing that ever happened to Alex Jones. I would go so far to say that his website's probably doing just fine. He didn't need YouTube before. YouTube was relatively new for him. So
no, it was like sacrificing, it was like sacrificing Jesus or something. Now they've just made him bigger and stronger by doing that.
Yep. All they had to do was keep him on there and just throttle him.
Yep.
Like they do to a lot of other people. So,
well, yeah, there's the whole Streisand effect thing. And I think a lot more people are interested in him now because of the fact that he was banned, because there's that whole kind of like, seduction of the taboo, I guess.
Right.
Jeremy's live. Look at, with that Star Wars girl. Let's talk about all the stupid stuff I watched today. That's funny. Yeah, cool. You could go over there. We're almost done here. I just wanted to share this. So I found it. So I never heard of flash split.
Oh, I saw that. That was great.
Yeah,
dude,
that's awesome.
That is fantastic.
That is awesome. All right, everybody. Yeah. So I've done a lot of live streaming the last few days, and there's a lot you can check out. Now, if there's ever a live stream missing from, if you're searching for it and you can't find it, always look at the bottom playlist on my channel. It says recent live streams, because sometimes I unlisted them for algorithm reasons, but they're always there. You can always find them. or you can hit me up for the link, or you can go to nerdrotic.com because I mirror everything over there. So it's nothing ever truly goes away here at all. Do you want Shane, plug your channel?
Oh, thanks. Yeah. If you guys, of course, if you go to popcast.co, you get us directly to our YouTube channel. Come check us out. We do, pop culture, very similar to stuff that Gary does here. Plus we do some other type of Paradox videos and whatnot. A lot of Orville coverage if you guys like the Orville. So,
we love the Orville around these parts. We love the Orville.
Orville is great TV.
Comix.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm just going to drop the link in the channel. I know people have already been kind of promoting it. Crap, I'm hitting the wrong enter button. This is what happens when you have like multiple computers in front of you. But yeah, so if you want to go and follow me on the Twitters as well as the Gabs, just look up Comix Division or at Comix Division or whatever. I'm also have my channel being backed up to BitChute. I really should probably get that ready at some point in time to drop in the link, but I don't have it pulled up. So if you just search for Comix Division on BitChute, that way, if YouTube bans me in 2020 because they don't like my opinions, you can still find me there because I'll still upload.
There you go. Nothing's going to stop you, Comix Division.
Except maybe YouTube, Twitter, and all the big tech giants basically saying, "Yeah, you're not going to exist anymore." I guess maybe that'll stop me.
Oh, next year's going to be interesting, man.
Yeah.
Right around January next year, it's going to be. I think we're
Yeah.
going to see some. I don't know. I've got a plan B ready, so I'm just enjoying this while it lasts.
I have the domain for Comix Division registered. I really should
Good.
get a website going.
So as far as the Exozone, we've been asked a lot by Exozone because YouTube is seriously clamping down on anything conspiracy or UFO. We're still going to do them, but we're going to do them. Doomcock and I are probably going to do them Exozone on our alternate channels. We're not going to do it here. Just I can't.
I think you guys should actually just start another channel for Exozone.
Maybe
That way, if it gets clobbered, it's not clobbering both your channels.
Yeah, if it's my alternate fund, it's fine. But we'd have to go through. There's a lot of process we have to go through. We're thinking of turning it into like a podcast. So doing it that way too. We're playing around with some ideas.
That would be cool.
And yeah, you can find all of our stuff. You can find this show will be on iTunes tomorrow. So it'll be available on iTunes. And we're also on Player FM and whatever mirror sites they have. So everybody please go to nerdrotic.com. Right, let me make sure. I think I just saw another super chat fly up there. Sorry. Don't want to leave a man behind. Can't leave a man behind or a woman. George Mallow for $49.99. Hey there. Oh, hi there, Gary. JJ's only original idea, steal from the best crap and add lens flares and shiny. Lens flares, it wasn't even his idea. Reflective surfaces, romantic scenes, lens flares. Parents being murdered, lens flares. Spock going to the bathroom, lens flares. And I'll add Spock crying.
Lens flares.
Christy Miller gives me $2 and says, here's my free super chat from YouTube. Christy, bless your heart. Thank you so much. Thank you for the wrench. You're awesome. George, thank you for being a patron. You're brilliant. Any timeline on Messy Desk's Orville walkthrough?
Ooh, I can answer that one for you.
Yeah, answer it.
Actually, if you guys, after you get done watching here, go over into our channel. We did an interview with Dan Govier, the guy who's in charge of Messy Desk, which, of course, if you guys know, is previously Stage 9, who got CBS shut them down because they were doing the Enterprise walkthrough. Well, this Orville walkthrough is really incredible, and it looks like they're in the process of making it happen where you'll start a walkthrough here pretty soon. I want to say in the next 60 to 90 days. So go check out that video.
That is brilliant. I'll share that. Yeah, I can't wait till it gets started. And I remember what happened to them. Jerks.
Yeah.
I bet you Seth isn't giving them a single problem.
Nope. In fact, Seth gave it the big thumbs up and said, do it.
Like all it is free promotion, you freaking morons. Again,
Right?
People want to give you their money. It's like, I want to spend time to make it. Why would you shut that down? Well, I know the answer. They're insecure because they're afraid, of the truth. The fact that they would do a better job
Mhm.
Yep.
because they know Star Trek better than, Kurtzman. That's all. Hail chat, hail Gary Comics, and third party who is Shane, who I don't recognize Shane from the Popcast, Bruce. Hail the Phantom Menace, everyone. Have a badass weekend. Bless you all. Bruce Lombardo, thank you for the $4.99. Bless you too. I'm going to try to get a couple videos out tomorrow, and I'm sure you guys will be busy. And everybody have a great night. And may the free folk sing songs of your greatness. Ciao.